Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
And on this Monday, we head back to Sunday, August 25th, 1957, for drama with episodes of Suspense and Leiningen Versus the Ants, starring William Conrad. First presentation of the drama from Suspense, although it had aired before on Escape. Bob Bailey in a Yours Truly Johnny Dollar episode, The Smoky Sleeper Matter. An episode of the CBS Radio Workshop. Roy Glenn stars in Sweet Cherries of Charleston. A 1938 episode of Calling All Cars. And we wrap it all up with an episode of Lum and Abner. That's what's coming up here on this Monday. This is the 25th day of August, 237th day of the year, 128 days left till we get to 2026. New Orleans, founded on this date in 1718 by French settlers and named after the Duke of Orleans. Now, the Department of the Interior created on this date, the Department of the Interior created the National Park Service to manage and preserve national parks and monuments for future generations. Paris, liberated from Nazi occupation by Allied forces on this date in 1944. And on this date in 1968, during live coverage of the Democratic National Convention, Dan Rather attempted to interview a delegate who appeared as though he were being forcibly removed by men without identification badges. Here's Rather and Cronkite.
Take your hands off of me. Unless you intend to arrest me, don't push me, please. I know you will, but don't push me. Take your hands off of me unless you intend to arrest me. Wait a minute. Well, Walters, you can see.
I don't know what's going on, but these are security people apparently around Dan.
Walter,
and obviously getting roughed up.
We tried to talk to the man, and we got bodily pushed out of the way. This is the kind of thing that's been going on outside the hall. This is the first time we've had it happen inside the hall. I'm sorry to be out of breath, but somebody belted me in the stomach doing that. What happened is the Georgia delegate, at least he had a Georgia delegate sign on, was being hauled out of the hall. We tried to talk to him to see why, who he was, and what the situation was. And at that instant, the security people... well, as you can see, put me on the deck. I didn't do very well.
I think we've got a bunch of thugs here, Dan.
The 1968 Democrat National Convention was an absolute unmitigated disaster for the Democrats. It really was. The album Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, released on this date in 1975. Author Truman Capote found dead in Los Angeles on this date in 1984. And in 2001, singer and actress Aaliyah died in a plane crash in the Bahamas. Others passing away on this date include scientist Michael Faraday, philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, John Birch, Gower Champion, the dancer, actor, photographer, or choreographer, I should say, the wonderful Stan Kenton, novelist, playwright, and screenwriter Truman Capote, as I mentioned, Ted Kennedy passing away on this date. Also, the first man to walk on the moon, Neil Armstrong, passing away on this date. Character actor Marvin Kaplan and John McCain also passing away on this date in history. It was in 2003 when NASA launched the infrared Spitzer Space Telescope. The Voyager 1 spacecraft entered interstellar space on this date in 2012. And it was on this date in 2017, Hurricane Harvey made landfall in Texas as a powerful Category 4 hurricane, strongest to make landfall in the U.S. since 2004. Now, over the next few days, the storm caused catastrophic flooding throughout much of East Texas, 106 people killed, $125 billion in damage. Among those born on this date in history, singer-actress Ruby Keeler. From the day the earth stood still, Michael Rennie, born on this date. The creator of Pogo, Walt Kelly. Bandleader Bob Crosby. Actor Don DeFore. Actor Van Johnson. The conductor and composer Leonard Bernstein. Governor of Alabama George Wallace. Game show host who went on to create a number of shows of his own, Monty Hall, along with Stephen Hatos. They created a lot of shows. The first African-American woman to win Wimbledon back in 1957, Althea Gibson. Sir Sean Connery, born on this date. TV host Regis Philbin, and From All My Children and Bonanza, David Canary, all born on this date in history. They have all left this mortal soil.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
He won an Emmy Award for Picket Fences. Tom Skerritt, 92 today. An Oscar nomination for Fatal Attraction for actress Ann Archer, who turned 78 today. Kiss's Gene Simmons turned 76. Elvis Costello, the musician, is 71. Director, producer, screenwriter Tim Burton, 67. From L.A. Law, Blair Underwood is 61. The Todd in Scrubs, Robert Macchio is 59. The wonderful cook and TV host Rachel Ray, 57.
I was really shocked by how many people write into this show and say they cannot make eggs.
Well, I have to look it up all the time. Scrambled eggs makes me crazy. It really does. Rachel Ray, 57. Joe D. Messina is 55 today. Who's Give a Damn is busted. Claudia Schiffer is 55. From the OC and Heart of Dixie, Rachel Bilson is 44. And from Gossip Girl, and It Ends With Us, a lot of controversy over that movie, for Blake Lively, who is 38 today. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 25th day of August as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
Now we're going to go back on this podcast of Classic Radio Theater. We're going to go back to a Sunday, the 25th day of August from 1957, 68 years ago, for episodes of Suspense, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the CBS Radio Workshop. That's all straight ahead here on this Monday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Civil defense is common sense. Hi, this is Tony Bennett. Make sure you're prepared if a nuclear attack ever comes.
By 1957, network radio had all but abandoned radio drama and voice entertainment, with the exception of CBS. On this particular Sunday afternoon, CBS was bringing people great old shows which were brand new. The CBS Radio Workshop at 4:05 Eastern, at 4:30 Suspense, at 5:05 they had brought in Indictment. At 5:30, yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Then at 6 o'clock, in addition to news, they went to the FBI in Peace and War. At 6:30, you had Gunsmoke. 7 o'clock, you had Henry Morgan as a quiz show moderator with the panel show Says Who, Virginia Graham, John Henry Falk, and Joey Adams. 7:30, you had tail end of the Stan Freberg show as it ended its run before they went on to full-bore music with the Mitch Miller show. They were still hanging in there, but it wasn't easy. It really wasn't. Let's go to 4:30 on Sunday, August 25th for radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense, and a role that had been played before by William Conrad, Leiningen Versus the Ants.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
The security of mankind is guaranteed by the balance of nature. If there weren't bigger fish to eat smaller fish, eventually there would be more fish than water for them to swim in. The rabbit is public enemy number one in Australia because there is no indigenous predator with a craving for Hassenpfeffer. The law of the jungle is implacable, and when it is broken, when nature's balance is upset, man had better head for the hills. In a moment, we bring you a classic story of nature's imbalance. On one side, the frightful Formicidiae doryalinae, ants, millions of South American army ants. And on the other, a man who knew no fear. Listen. Listen, then, as William Conrad stars in Leiningen Versus the Ants, which begins in 60 seconds.
Have you ever stopped to consider the importance of words? Well, take the word citizen, for example. According to Webster, a citizen is a person, native or naturalized, who owes allegiance to a government. Now, count the number of times citizen appears in your American Constitution. You'll find a great recurrence of the word. But nowhere in the Constitution will you find any reference to the sex of a citizen. It follows, then, that women are citizens as well as men. And as American citizens, women are therefore given the constitutional rights not only to vote, but to assume the office of representative or senator, vice president, or judge of the Supreme Court. And they are also given the privilege of running for the office of President of the United States. According to the 14th Amendment, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. And nothing in the Constitution limits privileges, immunities, or rights to male citizens exclusively. That's how your American Constitution works.
And now, William Conrad in Leiningen Versus the Ants, a story well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I first met Leiningen while performing my duty as commissioner of the Toto Santo district along the upper reaches of the Santissima River. As my boat neared his plantation landing, I saw him upon the river bank regarding me with mild interest. A great hulk of a man with bristling gray hair, bulky nose, and lucid eyes. His entire appearance somehow suggested an aging and shabby eagle. I came quickly to the point of my visit and issued my warning. Leiningen puffed placidly at a huge cigar and seemed unimpressed.
It's decent of you paddling all this way just to give me the tip, Commissioner. But even a herd of crocodiles couldn't frighten me from my plantation.
You don't understand. These aren't creatures you can fight. These are army ants. They're an elemental force, a gigantic catastrophe, an act of God. 10 miles long, 2 miles wide. Ants, nothing but ants, and each one as big as your thumb. Why, they can strip a man's body to a skeleton in 6 minutes.
Commissioner, in the 3 years I've been here, I've met and defeated more than one catastrophe. Flood, drought, plague. I'm not going to run from this one.
I tell you, Leiningen, you don't know these ants. But he merely sat there, puffing at his cigar and regarding me with a grin. But I knew it was hopeless. As I boarded my launch and cast off, I felt a sudden resentment toward this obstinate madman. And yet with it was something else. I'd never met a man like this before.
I stood on the bank
Couldn't
of the
help
river
wondering
watching
what
the commissioner's
combination of
launch until it rounded a bend and was lost to sight. There was a strange look in his eyes as he stared back at me. Clearly, he thought me insane. Well, he would have not been the first to think so. But I knew my own powers. I was sure of myself. I had seen men defeated many times, and always for the same reason. That only strengthened the central argument of my life. That intelligence directed aright always makes man the master of his fate. That evening, I called my Indian workers together in front of the plantation house, and I saw their faces go ashen with terror as I told them that the ants were coming. Then one of the men stepped forward. Blas, the foreman.
Senor, we have worked hard here for these 3 years, all of us. We have built the finest plantation in this district. We all share in it. It has been a home for all of us and our families. Now the ants come.
Yes, now the ants come.
These ditches we dug last year, they were for the ants?
They were for the ants.
If we moved our families across the river, the ants could not reach them.
That's right. Your families would be safe. And you?
The ants are mighty. We know what they can do. But we think that you are mightier. We will stay and fight against the ants with you.
I knew that the men would give me that answer. I counted on it. And suddenly I thought of the commissioner and wondered what he would say at such an unquestioning confidence. Would he still think I was insane? At least I knew he would not soon forget.
The days spent in warning all the plantations in my district, sleep was out of the question for me all that night. I could think of only one thing, one man, Leiningen. One man who calmly evaluated his chances against a deadly menace, coolly decided he could win, and was willing to stake his life on it, to risk a horrible death for it. It was terrifying, and yet it was fascinating. And when dawn came, I knew that the fascination of that man was more than I could resist. That Leiningen's fight was drawing my mind, was drawing me back toward that plantation and death. And there was nothing I could do about it. I had to go back.
The second act of Suspense continues in 1 minute.
Now, what would you think if one morning you woke up to learn that the president had appointed an elephant to the cabinet? Well, that question has nothing to do with politics. It's a question of memory. Now, I know it sounds silly, but really, with all the different and difficult jobs the Secretary of State has to do, he needs the memory of an elephant. You see, his biggest job, of course, is managing our country's foreign affairs for the president. And since he can't be in all the countries at the same time, the president sends ambassadors and ministers to the various capitals, sets up consular offices in the big commercial centers of the foreign countries to assist the Secretary of State. Then, when questions come up, the officials of these other countries get together with the ambassadors or the ministers or the consuls, depending on the country and the type of problem, and iron out the problem. Now, of course, there are a hatful of treaties and international laws to guide these conferences, so it's a pretty sure thing that when we tour foreign countries or have business dealings with foreign companies, all we get along well enough if we behave ourselves due to the work done by our State Department.
And now, we continue with Act 2 of Leiningen Versus the Ants, starring William Conrad. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
It was 10 o'clock in the morning when I rounded the bend below Leiningen's plantation. I put in at the dock and tied up the launch. And then I saw him standing on the bank above me, arms folded, stubby cigar in his mouth, and a sardonic grin on his face.
Back for another warning, Commissioner?
No.
Back to stay a while, then?
Yes. You don't seem very surprised.
I'm not.
You expected me?
I thought you'd be back. Come along, we'll get some horses. You'll want to ride around the plantation, take a look at the defenses I've rigged.
Defenses? How have you had time
I've always known that sooner or later the ants would come.
Well, yes, I'd like to see the defenses.
And the ants? We'll be getting a glimpse of them before long, I should think.
Yes, and the ants. The defenses Leiningen had devised were quite impressive. Surrounding 3 sides of the plantation like a huge horseshoe was a ditch 12 feet wide. The end of this ditch ran into the river, which formed the 4th side of the plantation. And at the upriver entrance to the ditch, Leiningen had constructed a dam by which river water could be diverted. A large hand wheel controlled the floodgate of the dam. As we approached the ditch and rode along it, I could see that it was nearly full.
How do you like my first line of defense, Commissioner?
Well, it's reassuring. Like a moat around a castle.
Unless the ants know how to build rafts, they won't reach the plantation. But this is only the outer moat. There's a better one than this. Come along. We'll go up to the high ground where the buildings are. We can get a view from there.
Leiningen.
I
didn't see any women or children around the plantation, or any animals.
Yes, that's right. We moved them across the river.
Oh, then even you think that there's danger?
Not because of danger, Commissioner. Matter of efficiency.
Efficiency?
Cuts down on the efficiency of the men if they're worried about their families. Critical situations only become crises when oxen and women get excited. Here we are. See the ditch?
Well, it's much smaller than the other.
You've noticed how all the buildings are on this piece of high ground. This inner ditch surrounds them, and it's lined with concrete.
Yes, but even filled with water, this is no barrier. It's not big enough. Why, if the ants get this far,
they'll get no farther. This ditch wasn't built for water, Commissioner. You see the pipes leading into it? See those storage tanks on the hill?
Huh?
Gasoline. They can throw up a wall of flame. You care to bet they won't like that?
Oh, I dare say they won't.
Look, Commissioner. Over there on the horizon. Yes, there are your ants. Look at them.
It was a sight I'll never forget. Over the range of hills, as far as I could see, crept a darkening hem, ever longer and broader until the shadows spread across the entire slope, and then downward, uncannily swift. And all the grass and bushes on the entire slope was being mowed as by a giant sickle, leaving only the vast moving shadow, extending, deepening, and moving rapidly nearer.
They're a hideous lot, aren't they?
Oh, Leiningen, we can't last against that. Look at them. Why, they could fill your ditches with their corpses and still have enough to destroy every one of us. We've got to run for it.
No. They haven't gotten to us yet, and they never will. Come along. We'd best get back to the men.
The hostile army was approaching in perfect formation. No human battalions, however well drilled, could ever hope to rival the precision of that advance. Along a front that moved forward as uniformly as a straight line, the ants drew nearer and nearer to the water ditch. And as they approached, two outlying wings of the army detached themselves from the main body and started marching along the sides of the ditch, no doubt expecting at some point to find a crossing. And during this hour-long flanking movement, the main army remained still. Across the scant 12 feet of ditch, I stared at them, and they seemed to stare back at me.
Act 3 of Suspense follows in 1 minute.
If you've ever lived on a farm, you know the importance of weather. And you know the importance of accurate weather predictions. Also, you know that continued study is necessary because our knowledge of weather is far from sufficient. Now, suppose you're a farmer and your radio set has gone out, but you do have a shortwave set. What would you do? Naturally, you would continually contact other hams, particularly to the north and west of you, to learn what weather they're having. And if a storm is brewing, you would try to chart it by contacting more shortwave operators. In this way, you would be relying on others, if they be friends or not, for information concerning weather that could affect you. And it would be at this point that you would realize the value of a network of weather stations surrounding the world. That is what the World Meteorological Organization is doing. It is an agency of the United Nations, which is man's best hope for world cooperation, peace, and justice.
And now, we continue with Act 3 of Leiningen Versus the Ants, starring William Conrad. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Around 4 in the afternoon, the ant scouts having found no crossing, there was a stirring among the main army, and then an immense flood of ants, about 100 yards in width, commenced pouring in a glimmering black cataract down the far slope of the ditch. Thousands drowned instantly, but the rest began using the bodies as bridges. Leiningen immediately swung into action.
Taneo! Get to the dam, open the floodgate wider, get the water in the ditch moving faster.
Si, senor.
Look at them drown by the thousands.
Yes, but they keep coming.
All right, men. Busy with the shovels now. Dump some sand and clods on them. See how they like that. You with the petrol sprinklers, start pumping. That's it. I don't like it, Commissioner. They don't like it a bit. Look at them.
Yes, but how about the ones on the far side of the ditch? Whole clumps of them rolling into the water. The rest are using them for bridges.
Yes. Oh, what's keeping Teneo? He should be at the dam by now.
Senor, the ants are crossing the ditch on the clouds of earth. If you climb up on this side even now.
Yes, I see them. Use your shovels on the men. Club the crawlers.
No, keep
What's
away.
the matter?
Senor, they crawl up on my shovels. They crawl in my eyes.
Into the petrol, you idiot! Douse your paws in the petrol! Don't stop now, the rest of you! Club them!
We cannot hold them back. We must run!
Run now and you're doomed, every one of you! You've got to fight them back! Here's your shovels!
Senor, it's no use!
You're dead if you stop! Keep at it now! Keep at it! Teneo got the floodgates up and the water's running faster now. Yes. Look at the ants. They can't hold their own against the current now. They're being washed away. Faster with the shovels! Look at them, Commissioner. We've beat them. We've beat them.
It was true. Leiningen had won at least the first round. The floodgates were left open to forestall any night crossing. I allowed myself to hope that the ants would go on, would pass us by. But when the dawn came, the dark blanket was still there, motionless across the ditch. And then we noticed a feverish activity on the other side of the plantation. Here, a grove of tamarind trees lined the far end of the ditch, and every tree swarmed with the crawling insects. But instead of eating the leaves, they were merely gnawing through the stems so that a thick green shower fell steadily to the ground. Well, it looks as if it's feeding time for our friends, huh?
Boss.
Senor.
Have all the petrol pumps brought here and get everyone over here except the lookouts on the other side, and then pass out the shovels.
Si, senor.
Are you going to deprive them of a meal?
Meal?
Aren't they cutting down the leaves for food?
Wish they were.
What do you mean?
I said if they wanted to get across, they'd have to have rafts. And that's just what they've got. Those leaves are the rafts.
Even as he spoke, the leaves went tumbling down the far bank by the thousands. The current drew them away from the bank, and each leaf carried several ants.
Don't worry. As long as you keep spraying them and shoveling dirt on their rafts, they can't land
But,
now.
senor, there will be too many.
It's true, look. More leaves in the ditch all the time. Why, they'll have a solid carpet to walk across in a minute.
Not so fast, Commissioner. I've still got a trick up my sleeve for them.
The water.
The ditch is drying up.
Yes, of course it's drying up. That's the plan. Those are the orders I sent to the dam.
Are you mad? As soon as it's empty, what's to prevent the ants? Look, the water's way down. It's almost dry. They'll be able to come across the bottom.
They'll not make it if the man at the dam carries out his orders. He should have opened the gates again by now.
To flood the ants?
Yes, right.
What a chance to take if anything should happen.
Here comes the water. Now we'll give the crawlers in the ditch a good ride out to the river. Yes, there. Look at
him go. Leiningen's tactics were successful. At first, the violent flow of water raced through the ditch, overwhelming leaves and ants and sweeping them along. 3 times the ditch was emptied. 3 times the ants raced across the bottom, and 3 times the water, arriving just in time, carried them away. But the 4th time, as the water lowered nearly to the bottom of the ditch, we waited in vain for the rushing waters. And then...
Senor! What's the matter? What's gone wrong at the dam?
The ants. Just as the man at the dam lowered the water almost to the bottom, the ants attacked the dam. Before he could open the floodgate, he was almost surrounded. He ran. The ants kept coming. They're across the ditch.
Leiningen stood motionless, absorbing the news of his defeat without a word. Then he raised his pistol and fired 3 shots in the air. The prearranged signal for all the men to retreat instantly to the second line of defense, the concrete-lined ditches 2 miles from the point of invasion. Soon after we arrived there, the natives commenced straggling in, silently. Leiningen waited until all of them had gathered, and then he spoke to them.
Well, lads, we've won the first round, lost the second. But we'll smash the crawlers yet. Anyone who thinks otherwise can draw his pay and push off. There are rafts enough on the river and plenty of time still to reach them. You'll stay then. Good. Thank you, lads. And you, Commissioner?
I can't persuade you to give up the fight.
You cannot.
Well, then I stay too.
Yes, I knew you would.
Senor, if you or the ants have reached the ditch.
You're trying to get across?
No, senor, not.
I didn't think they would. There's plenty of food out there for them. food I've spent 3 years in raising. It ought to last them until morning anyway.
Yes, we were safe for the moment. But the next morning, the black swarm was solid around us, and their shock troops were hard at work. They were dropping shreds of bark and twigs and leaves into the petrol-filled ditches, forming a floating bridge across the surface of the liquid. Leiningen stood silently watching this operation, and I could see a grudging admiration in his face. Then, after several hours, the attack came. Down the ditch they poured, thousands of them, and across the bridge of twigs, rapidly approached the inner side. Leiningen sat motionless, watching them.
Uh-huh.
Leiningen, for the love of God, don't sit there like a statue. They'll be on us in a moment.
Let them fill it first. Now. All right. Everyone back from the ditch. Go on. Ross, hand me the torch. Now, we'll see how our friends like a little heat around them.
Flames from the ditch shot into the air, devouring the ants by the millions. It was some time before the petrol burned down to the bed of the ditch, but when it did, the devils came back for more. Again Leiningen fired the ditch to destroy them, and still again they came on. But at each successive firing, the task of the ants grew easier because of the film of ash which now covered the petrol. And as they returned to the assault time after time, a slow, sickening horror crept into my mind. I looked quickly at Leiningen and then at the gasoline tanks. He read my gaze and nodded slowly.
That's right, Commissioner. We could hold them off forever if our supply of petrol was unlimited. But it isn't. We've got enough to fill the ditch once more.
And then?
Piccolo! Piccolo, come back! Now the idiot jumped the ditch. He'll never make it to the river. Piccolo! Come back!
Merciful God, he's...
It's too late. Blas! Keep the men back with your gun. Don't let anyone else try for the river.
Leiningen, isn't there any way at all? We've got to do something. We can't...
There must be a way. There must be. Yes. Yes, yes.
What is it?
We'll flood the whole plantation.
Flood? But how?
We've got to close the floodgate at the dam. That'll do it.
You're mad. The dam is nearly 2 miles away. 2 miles of ants.
Lads, listen to me. Listen, lads. I'm proud of you. Now, there's still a chance. By shutting the floodgates in the dam and flooding the whole plantation from the river. The moment I'm over the ditch, set fire to it. That'll allow time for the flood to wash away the ants. Then all you have to do is wait for me.
Why, it's impossible. You can't get to the dam, let alone get back.
That's where you're wrong, Commissioner. I'll get there, and I'll get back. Take care of things while I'm gone, huh?
I watched him as he calmly pulled on high leather boots, drew gauntlets over his hands, and stuffed the spaces between breeches and boots, gauntlets and arms, with petrol-soaked rags. He shielded his eyes with close-fitting mosquito goggles and plugged his nostrils and ears with cotton. Then the natives drenched his clothes with petrol. Leiningen was ready, and as he stood calmly surveying the course
ready for the run, I realized that this was as it should be. I, Leiningen, would meet the ants and defeat them or be defeated by them. Leiningen versus the ants. I ran in long, equal strides with one thought, one sensation in my being. I must get through. I dodged all trees and shrubs except for the split seconds my soles touched the ground. The ants would have no opportunity to alight on me. And I ran on. I was halfway to the dam before I felt ants under my clothes and a few on my face. I struck at them mechanically, scarcely conscious of their bites. And the dam drew toward me slowly. The distance drew less and less. Finally, only 100 yards away. And 50. And then I was there. I gripped the ant-covered wheel, but hardly had I seized it when a horde of ants flowed over my hands and arms. I strained, and slowly the wheel turned, and turned more. The floodgate was swinging slowly shut, and then it was shut, and the water was rising behind the breakwater, closer to the top, and closer. And then it was spilling over. The flooding of the plantation had begun, and I let go of the wheel. For the first time, I realized that I was coated from head to foot with the fiends. Tongues of fire stabbed at me, bit through my flesh, and I almost fainted with the pain as I ran, knocking ants from my body, brushing them from my bloody face.
And then one bit me just below the rim of my goggles, and I managed to tear it away. But the agony of the bite and its venom drilled into the eye nerves, and I saw now through circles of fire into a milky mist. I was almost blinded. But I knew that if I tripped and fell... I ran on, my heart pounding as if it would burst, blood roaring in my ears, a giant's fist battering my lungs. Then I could see dimly that wall of flame at the ditch, but it was too far away. I could not last half that distance. And I stumbled. Then I fell. I felt myself being swarmed over, devoured, and I tried to rise, a great weight, and then I remembered 6 minutes, then nothing but bones. I couldn't let that happen to me. I couldn't die like that. To my feet. Drag myself forward toward the flame in the ditch. The ring of flame. Closer now. Only a little farther. 10 steps.
It seemed we had waited for hours, when all at once, through the blazing ring around us, an apparition hurtled and fell full length on the ground. Leiningen, alive with ants, unconscious, with blazing eyes and lacerated face, we rushed to him, stripped off his clothes, and tore at the ants that covered him. His body seemed almost one open wound. In one place I could see a white bone. Later, as the curtain of flame lowered, I looked out where that blanket of ants had been and saw only a vast expanse of water covering the entire plantation. The ants were gone, drowned, and Leiningen had won. He lay on his bed, his body swathed from head to foot with bandages. But Leiningen was still alive.
Commissioner, everything in order?
They're gone. The ants are gone.
I told you I'd come back. Even if I am a bit streamlined.
And then this amazing man grinned, shut his eyes, and quietly fell asleep.
Suspense, in which William Conrad starred in William N. Robeson's production of Leiningen Versus the Ants, adapted by Robert Reif from the original story by Carl Stevenson. Listen again next week when we return with another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Supporting Mr. Conrad in Leiningen Versus the Ants were Ben Wright, Lou Merrill, Donald Buca, and Don Diamond.
Our friends over at the Suspense Project have found a ton of Armed Forces Radio Network recordings of these old shows. And it is great that we have found them, that they have found them, and not only found them, but made them available to the general public and us. As I mentioned, this was the first production on Suspense of the Carl Stevenson story, Leiningen Versus the Ants, but it was not the first time that Conrad had portrayed Leiningen. The play, as you heard, adapted by Robert Reif, as part of Escape back in 1948. The story was revived on Escape later in 1948. It aired January 14th and May 23rd, again with Conrad as Leiningen. In 1949, Tudor Owen portrayed Leiningen. The script used as part of Suspense, and that was part of why these shows continued so long. They had so many great old shows and scripts that they could go back and use again and again. Conrad playing it today in this episode, and then once more in 1959, we would have another episode of Suspense and Leiningen, and this time it would be Louis Van Rooten. Interestingly, Leiningen Versus the Ants was adapted into the motion picture The Naked Jungle, starring Charlton Heston as Leiningen. And William Conrad, in the movie, played the commissioner. Now, the story inspired Trumbold's World, the 6th episode of MacGyver. Interestingly enough, they used stock footage from The Naked Jungle in that episode of the show. And the short story adapted for BBC Radio 4's 15-minute drama series in 2018. Leiningen Versus the Ants, a part of Suspense, as it was broadcast at 4:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time on Sunday, August 25th, 1957, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Take a quick look at the headlines from that date in just a moment.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Fred McMurray. Home shelters can be built for as little as $100. Simple plans for building inexpensive home shelters are available free from your civil defense office. Ask for a copy of the Family Fallout Shelter booklet.
Now let's take a look at some of the headlines from 68 years ago, Sunday, August 25th, 1957. And in the headlines, Neville Shute's new book is fiction. It could well be fact. On the Beach, described as the ultimate in horror stories, deals with the few survivors of a short atomic war and describes in vivid and often suspenseful detail their last months and days on Earth. A split in the ranks of 41 Americans visiting Red China, reported by the British news agency Reuters. It said the delegation, which went to Peiping from the Moscow Youth Festival, had broken up into leftists and rightists, some of the group remaining neutral. 22-year-old Shelby Tucker, former Yale student from Pass Christian, Mississippi, said it happened when he and other so-called rightists refused to turn over their passports to the Chinese. Tucker, who said he made the trip to Peiping to balance out the lunatic fringe among the Americans, told Reuters the Chinese made less fuss about their refusal than the American leftists, who attempted to force the dissenters to hand over their passports and later subjected them to what he called a struggle and criticism meeting. American newsmen entering communist China for the first time in 8 years will be faced with a dual challenge. That, at least, is the opinion of an Asian diplomat who has won high honors in journalism and diplomacy. Brigadier General Carlos P. Romulo, the Philippine ambassador in Washington and representative of the UN Security Council, quoting, "The success of their mission will depend upon whether the American newsmen dig out the truth and whether communist China will allow the truth to be told. It's a challenge on both counts." Turkey's leaders conferred separately in Istanbul with Roy Henderson, America's Middle East troubleshooter, and the kings of Jordan and Iraq on the Syrian crisis. Henderson, dispatched hurriedly to the Middle East by the State Department, plunged into meetings immediately on his arrival, first with U.S. Ambassador Fletcher Warren, then with the ambassador and Turkish Premier Adrian Menderes. A few minutes earlier, Turkish leaders, including President Salah Bayer, ended a 5-hour meeting with Kings Hussein of Jordan and King Faisal of Iraq, all meetings in tightly guarded privacy. Immigration officials yesterday seized one-time Red Army Captain Yula Patras in Baltimore, accused him of posing as a Hungarian freedom fighter in order to enter the U.S. Patrovich and his family taken to New York pending their enforced departure to Austria next week. An immigration official said Patrovich, the first of some 100 Hungarians returned since February, known to have been a member of the Russian army. President Eisenhower took the controls and piloted his light plane yesterday during a flight from Washington to his Pennsylvania farm, believed to be the first president to do so. Eisenhower qualified as a pilot about 20 years ago when he was an Army officer stationed in the Philippines, but he hasn't flown a plane for years. Southern senators abandoned filibuster threats yesterday, clearing the way for enactment this week of the first civil rights bill in 82 years. The decision virtually assured early adjournment of Congress, probably sometime next week. Only a House-Senate compromise on the size of the foreign aid appropriation and a possible 11th-hour drive for a bill protecting the secrecy of FBI files stand between Congress and a holiday. President Eisenhower's talk of calling a special session this fall to increase the foreign aid appropriation being taken with little seriousness on Capitol Hill. Senator John L. McClellan of Arkansas, the Democrat, announced yesterday he will ask the Justice Department to determine whether Teamsters Union leader James R. Hoppe should be charged with perjury for testifying that his memory was faulty. McClellan, chairman of the Senate Committee investigating labor racketeering, told newsmen he had ordered the testimony of Hoppe sent to the department for study. Newspaper presses roared in Detroit's three major dailies yesterday for the first time in a week. Jimmy Hoppe, the Midwest Teamsters boss, who flew in Friday night after testifying before the Senate Rackets Committee in Washington, helped effect settlements of a paper's closing labor dispute that erupted between mailers and publishers last Saturday. A crippled Air Force transport plane dropped 17 cases of explosives near Meridian, Mississippi yesterday so it could make emergency landing at Key Field in Meridian. 12 rockets, 3 barrels of napalm were recovered. Air and ground parties searching for the rest. Senate Republicans yesterday reportedly protesting vigorously to President Eisenhower against the prospective appointment of Robert McKinney, the New Mexico publisher, as U.S. representative to the new International Atomic Energy Agency. The 31st anniversary of the death of screen lover Rudolph Valentino marked in ceremonies in Hollywood, and for the second year in a row, the mysterious Lady in Black was not among the mourners. Medical authorities in Little Rock, Arkansas report a 9-year-old Negro girl expects to have a child in October. Another Arkansas girl gave birth by cesarean section on her 11th birthday a week ago. 3 young boys burned to death yesterday in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, while a crew battled to free livestock from the barn, unaware the children were trapped inside. Boys trapped in a den they had fashioned out of baled hay inside the barn. And the Coast Guard cutter Spar, attempting to cross the North Atlantic continent by water, is reported about 150 miles south of the North Pole. Those are a few of the day's news stories in the newspapers of Sunday, August 25th, 1957. We continue with shows from that afternoon from CBS, and up next, we will hear from yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Howard Duff with this reminder. 640 and 1240. These are the Conrad frequencies during a national emergency. 640 and 1240 on your regular radio will be your only official means of receiving vital information. Remember, 640 and 1240.
And we'll hear Howard Duff coming up on Friday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox as we turn back the clock to 1948 for an episode of The Adventures of Sam Spade. Tell you the other things coming up this week ahead here on Classic Radio Theater in a moment. First, we're going to take you to 5:30 Eastern Time on Sunday, August 25th, 1957, for an episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey in The Smoky Sleeper Matter.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Fred Larkin, Johnny. New Jersey Fire and Casualty. Hope I didn't get you out of bed.
Well, you sure did, Freddie, but how are things in Trenton?
In Trenton, fine. In the little town of Vineland, I'm not so sure.
Vineland. About halfway between Philadelphia and Atlantic City?
That's the place.
What goes down there?
Fire.
Arson?
That's what I hope you can find out.
Well, any reason for suspicion?
Yes. The man who holds the policy on $83,000 worth of bedding.
Bedding?
Mattresses, box springs that went up in smoke 2 days ago.
Okay, Fred, I'll grab the first train.
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
And now, Act One of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the New Jersey Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Home Office, Trenton, New Jersey. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Smoky Sleeper Matter. Expense account item 1, 1075, fare and incidentals, Hartford to Trenton. Item 2, 80 cents, taxi to Fred Larkin's office on West State Street. He lost no time in getting right to the point.
That's right. $83,000 total loss.
Well, who's filed the claim, Fred?
Name is Ben Murray, sole owner and manager of Ben Murr Furniture Sales in Philadelphia. Sort of a small chain scattered around all over the city.
I thought you said the loss was in Vineland.
It was. That's where he had a big warehouse.
Well, if his stores are in Philly...
He claims it's cheaper than maintaining a big warehouse in the city. Also, apparently, it's close to a couple of sources of supply. He's been a good account, Johnny. We've made a lot of money on his policies.
Well, it sounds like you've issued him quite a few.
Well, we have. You see, in addition to the usual coverage on his stores, we've issued him a lot of short-termers on warehouse contents from time to time.
I don't quite see what you mean.
His whole business is based on special sales. Free inventory, going out of business, distressed merchandise, fire and water damage sales, summer, winter, spring, and fall sales. Anything you can think of.
No kidding.
Periodically, he loads up his Vineland warehouse with stuff he's accumulated for the next big sale. And we insure it. This time it was $83,000 worth of box springs and mattresses.
Wow, that's a lot of bedding for just one sale.
Don't worry. He'd have got rid of it. His salesmen are the sharpest bunch you ever saw. Too sharp, if you ask me. Almost like a bunch of con men. You know what switching means in the retail trade?
Isn't that when they advertise a well-known item at a very low price?
That's it.
Then when you try to buy it, they just happen to have sold the last one.
That's it. But by that time, they've got you in the store where they can use the high-pressure pitch to sell you some inferior item at an even higher price. And on a no-return basis.
Yeah, by the time the customer gets wise, it's too late.
Exactly. I suspect they're not above using the label switch, too. You know, have some local manufacturer make up a cheap item, then put a nationally recognized label on it, or a pretty good copy.
My, what nice clients you have, Freddie.
Well, what can we do, Johnny? As long as we don't catch them red-handed in something that directly affects us.
Well, you don't need to write any more policies.
The company says different. At least until such a time as they try to pull something on us, or we find proof of such doings.
I see. Oh, where'll I find this Ben Murray?
Either at his main office in Philadelphia or down in Vineland, looking over what's left in the shell of that warehouse.
On what exactly does Murray base the amount of his claim?
Face value of the policy, which in turn was based on the cost of the goods to him.
Huh? You mean you used the figures he gave you?
Hardly. We got the figures from the actual bills sent him by the manufacturer.
Well, I wondered.
I don't blame you. No, Johnny, that $83,000 is exactly what the mattresses and box springs cost him. It was a special order from one manufacturer, made up especially for one big sale.
Can your secretary check on Murray's whereabouts for me?
Sure.
All right, then let me use your phone. I may be able to save us all a lot of time, labor, and soap. I called my old friend Adam Bowles, who lived within a few miles of Vineland, who, before he retired, was one of the top arson men in the country. Investigator, I mean. He wasn't home, but I left word for him to drive to Vineland and meet me in the lobby of the East Landis Hotel whenever I got there. Meanwhile, Fred's secretary had learned that Ben Murray was in his Philadelphia office.
Expense account item 3560 for a train to Philadelphia and cab to the main office of Benmer Furniture Sales. The place was a madhouse.
Okay, Dollar, go ahead in. It's that first office on the right.
Thanks.
And listen. Oh, wait a minute. Sales department, call me back. I'm busy. Listen, Dollar, if you can get a word in edgewise with Ben, ask him where's the contracts for that West Philadelphia deal, will you?
Oh, sure.
Sales department. Yeah? I'll turn a hose on some of that stuff and call it a flood sale. Something like that.
Make the picture in that advertisement look good, see? Put a lot of stuff around. Pictures on the wall, rug on the floor, stuff like that. Yeah, make the suckers think they're getting a 25-piece dining room suite, not just a table, 4 chairs, and 20 crummy dishes. Dollar, sit down.
Thanks.
Yeah, make it look like they'll be getting everything they see in the ad. Yeah. Now'd you get them sofas in from Sterling? Okay. Put a price ticket of $95 on them. And then mark it down to $49.95, and we'll clean out the whole...
Mr. Murray.
Huh? He what? Sterling charges $25 for those lousy sofas. Listen, we're giving them $22.50 for them. Except for the demonstrator we show on the floor, the good one. Who does he think he is telling me the price he's going to charge me? Oh, the lousy bunch of chiselers trying to hike the price on me. Holy, what a business.
From the looks of that outer office, you've got plenty of it.
Yeah, volume, Dollar. That's what does it. I work on a narrow margin, see?
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes I even lose money, just to keep the volume up. I got 9 stores, see? They're all over Philadelphia.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah, what's the matter now?
Pine Street wants to know the sale prices on those 3 grades of Night Cloud mattresses. What'll I tell him?
What are the cost prices?
All the same, $13 a piece.
Cost us $13, huh? Well, price them at $39.95, $49.95, and $69.95.
Okay, Ben. Hey, Larry.
Narrow profit margin, huh?
And now, look, Dollar, your card says you're an insurance investigator.
That's right.
Well, if it's about that fire I had down in Vineland a couple of days
That's
ago...
That's exactly what it's about.
Well, let me tell you something. Yeah, what is it? Oh, yeah? Well, listen. Hey, pick that other phone off the hook, Dollar. That noise is killing me, will you?
Why not? I might learn something.
Well, you tell him I don't care if he's the Department of Internal Revenue in person.
Hello.
We pay
Hey,
for protection
Ben,
against guys
I
like
got a
him,
dame here in
and
the
he'll look
store
at
found out
whatever
that
set of
bed
books
we
want
sent
to
her
look
wasn't
at.
the
You hear
same
that?
one she saw on the floor.
Well, now, wait just a minute.
She threatens to go see the Better Business Bureau.
Well, look, this isn't Ben.
Huh?
That's what I mean.
Just hold on a minute, will you? Hold on.
And you tell that bookkeeper we got there, he either keeps the books the way I tell him, or either he... well, look, I'll call you back, see? Did you hold that call for me, Dollar?
Yeah, here.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah? Yeah? Well, don't take any chances. Give her anything she wants. Give her the one she saw on the floor. Go out and buy her one, a good one. Just make her happy. Keep her from... oh, you know what I mean. Yeah. Troubles. Well, now, look, Dollar. You think there was anything wrong with that fire, you prove it, I'll give you this whole business. What do you think I am, a crook?
I haven't said that yet.
Then what's the idea of investigating?
Not you, but that fire. We always investigate when a claim this large is involved.
Oh, yeah?
Do it automatically.
Look, I'm trying to run an honest business here, just barely scraping by. That phone call just now. A customer ain't 100% satisfied, we make her satisfied.
Oh, sure. To keep her from blabbing about the way you rooked her.
Oh, look, get out of here, would you? Can't you see I'm busy? I try to run a decent business here, and punks like you come in and... Oh, if I'm... Yeah, hold on. Look, you got some legit reason to investigate, Dollar. You come around then.
Maybe I will.
Now go on, get out, will you?
Gladly.
Listen, Charlie, you tell him he tries to outsmart me, I'll sue him for every cent he's got.
Expense account item 4, $50 deposit on a drive-your-own car. I crossed the Delaware River Bridge and finally picked up Route 47 for the 35-mile drive down to Vineland. Flat country, this, with plenty of beautiful trees and rich farmland and occasional cranberry bog. The soft smell of ripening peaches greeted me from the vast orchards I passed. It was all very pleasant. Certainly a complete contrast to the noisy, unhealthy joint I just left. And I could see only too plainly why Fred Larkin suspected arson in the warehouse fire. Sure. If a character like Ben Murray didn't resort to arson, he'd feel he was missing a good bet. Proof of arson, however, is a different matter, and not always easy to come by. That's where I wanted the help of Ed Bowles. But Ed hadn't got to the hotel when I arrived in Vineland, so I drove over to the police headquarters at 610 Wood Street, a block north of Landis Avenue, the main drag.
There I found Sergeant Louis Tomaso, who'd been working on the case.
Be glad to take you over there, Dollar. Just the other side of Chestnut Avenue. That's over south of town.
All right, Sergeant, I'd like to see that warehouse, or what's left of it.
Oh, there's plenty left of the warehouse. All metal construction. Come on.
That in itself might make it hard to spot Arson.
Dollar, we went over the... Lieutenant, Mr. Dollar and I are going out to the Benmer warehouse. We went over that place with a fine-tooth comb, both during and after the fire.
Came up with nothing, huh?
Nothing that would give any cause for suspicion.
Sergeant, do you know a man by the name of Adam Bowles?
I certainly do. He's been giving me a lot of help with this. You know, just to sort of keep his hand in.
And he's found nothing?
Not a thing. But, of course, he's the kind that never gives up.
Yeah. Well, let's get on over and take a look at that place. It was obvious that the whole contents of that warehouse was damaged beyond repair. And apparently the big steel building had been packed to the roof. I looked over some of the damaged mattresses very carefully, sometimes with the aid of my pocket knife, and I learned some rather interesting things. Things that showed the best possible reasons for wanting to burn up a lot of merchandise like this. Wow.
Well, have you seen enough, Mr. Dollar?
Yeah, I guess so. But I still want to talk to Adam Bowles. So let's go on back to
Wait
town.
a minute. Looks like Ad pulling up in that car there.
Huh? Oh, so it is. Hey, Ed.
What? Johnny!
Yeah, well, hiya.
Sergeant, don't tell me you sent for a half-wit like Dollar.
Just a minute now, Stinky.
Why, the greenest rookie on the force would get further.
Ed, I'll brain you.
You two know each other.
You kidding? Johnny, how are you, baby?
Great, just great. You got my message, huh?
Yeah, but I hereby inform you that, as usual, you got here too late.
Oh, is that so?
When I found out you were coming, I decided I'd better get to work, if only to show you up. So I did, and I found out who started the fire.
Well, I've got a pretty good suspicion myself.
Who did it, Ad?
Poor old Jerry Cumber.
Who? Jerry? The old town ne'er-do-well?
Yep, that poor, foolish old wino.
Wow. How'd it happen?
Oh, he was just wandering around that night, as he often does, with a bottle to keep him company. Found the back door of the warehouse open, thought he'd take a little nap, or rather sleep it off.
He certainly had his choice of nice soft beds.
Yeah, so he went to sleep with a lighted cigarette in his fingers. And there you have it. And the funny thing, Sergeant.
Yeah?
Only charge you can really hold the old bum on is being drunk and disorderly. And, of course, trespass.
What?
Well, you look it up. You'll see I'm right. As for you, Johnny, you can just go on back to your company and tell them to pay the claim.
Oh, that's so?
Yes, sir. Case is closed. At least for you.
That's where you're wrong.
Huh?
After a couple of things I heard at the Benmer office, plus a couple of things I've seen here, Adam, I think this case is just starting for me.
Act two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
For a long time, people have been saying that the Earth is shrinking because transportation is getting faster and faster. And because this is true, people are getting closer, too. Today, our neighbors are not only the ones who live next door to us, they're all over the world. It is axiomatic that one should help his neighbor. But Americans have gone a step further. In addition to individuals helping individuals, now many American cities help many other cities through the Sister City program. Now, perhaps you've heard how it works. If not, here's an example or two. In the fall of 1959, a large area of Nagoya, Japan, was struck by a devastating typhoon. Her sister city, Los Angeles, California, sent tons of relief materials to Nagoya by way of an Air Force plane headed for the area. The Marines and the Navy rendered vital emergency aid during the disaster. When earthquakes shook Viña del Mar, Chile, during the summer of 1960, her sister city, Sausalito, California, sent hundreds of dollars worth of relief materials to help out. Another case in point, the school children of Clovis, New Mexico, sent a number of cultural exchange packages to students in their sister city of Adana, Turkey. There are hundreds of such examples, because there are hundreds of sister cities. By using this means of diplomacy, friendship and understanding have increased throughout the world and paved the way for permanent freedom, the right of all men everywhere.
And now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Smoky Sleeper Matter.
From the looks of things, the case was practically over. The fire at the warehouse full of box springs and innerspring mattresses had been accidental. And it looked, I underline that word looked, as though Ben Murray's claim for reparation to the tune of $83,000 was entirely justified. Ad Bowles, the finest expert on arson I knew, had produced the man who started the fire as proof. So, on the surface, there was nothing for the company to do but pay Ben Murray's claim. But I smelled a rat, a big one. Expense account item 5, 75 cents for a person-to-person call to Fred Larkin in Trenton.
Well, Johnny, if you're satisfied with Bowles' conclusion that it wasn't arson, well, that's that. We'll have to pay off the claim.
What if I could prove fraud?
Fraud? What do you mean?
Look, Fred, you told me you saw the bills, the manufacturer's bills, to Murray, giving valuation on the bedding that was stored in that warehouse.
Yes, I have photostats of those bills right here in my desk. But what...
Good for you. Dig them out, will you?
Oh? Why?
Go on. Dig them out, Fred, and read them to me.
What if there was no arson? I fail to see what you're driving
Look, will you do what I ask you? I'm trying to save your company some money.
All right. Here now. Now, what do you want to know?
Well, the labels on the remains of the mattresses I looked at the scene of the fire, those labels indicated there was a model called the Night Cloud Sleep Rest.
And that checks with these bills. Let's see. There were 3,500 mattresses called Night Cloud Sleep Rest.
Well, forget the quantities. What was the manufacturer's price to Ben Murray on that Night Cloud Sleep Rest?
Let's see. Johnny, they cost Ben Murray exactly $25.50 apiece. And there's an equal number of box springs to match.
$25.50?
That's right.
But I overheard him say in Philadelphia that he only paid...
What, Johnny?
Nothing. What other models are on those bills?
Night Cloud Super Sleep.
And the price?
Just a second.
And while you're figuring, you might be interested in knowing that the labels on that sleep rest indicated a retail price of $69 each. Some profit, huh?
Here now. Johnny, the Night Cloud Supers cost Murray $26.20 apiece.
Wow, wait. All right, I got it. And he claimed to be working on a narrow profit margin.
Now, the Night Cloud Perfection Sleep cost him $27.14 each.
Good. Any more?
Those were the only ones he bought and stored in the warehouse.
All right. Now, give me the name and address of the manufacturer.
Easy. Golden Bedding Corporation, Woodbine, New Jersey.
Good. Now, one more thing. Can you think of the name of another big chain of furniture stores, like Ben Murray's, only in New York or Chicago or some other big city?
Well, of course, there's Glauder Brothers in New York.
Glauder Brothers.
Only they're such a disreputable outfit that when they try to talk insurance with us...
Freddie, that's all the better. Thanks a lot.
Now, wait, Johnny. You still haven't told me...
Oh, I will, Freddie. Don't you worry. I will. Why I didn't get pinched for speeding somewhere along Highway 49, I'll never know, because I certainly didn't hold back the horsepower. Just short of the town of Tuckahoe, I turned off on 557 and then, a few miles later, pulled into Woodbine. Although it's a small community surrounded by farms, it boasts a big hat factory, a couple of clothing factories, a vast, sprawling state institution, and on the far edge of town, the Golden Bedding Corporation's huge plant. I figured the best thing to do was put on a bold front and bull my way into the president's office. But any such tactics proved entirely unnecessary.
Barney Glauder, huh?
Yes, Mr. Golden, but just Barney's good enough.
Well, I should say it is, because you must be Barney Jr. I've known your papa for years. Sit down, my boy. Would you like a cigar?
Why, no, thanks.
You don't look like your old man. You know that? Not a bit. Of course, I haven't seen him since 42. Barney Glauder.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing in this part of the country, huh, Barney?
Business. Pleasure trip.
Business, huh? What's the matter? We haven't had any orders from you people lately, huh?
Well, up to now, I haven't really had anything to do with the business.
Living off the old man's millions, huh? Smart boy. Did you go to college?
Yeah, full 4 years.
Yeah, that's the way. Smart boy. Now you are in the business. Buying, maybe?
Well, if you mean from you, that depends.
If you're as sharp as your papa. How old is he now, huh?
Pop?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, how's your mama?
Mama? She... look, Mr. Golden, if you don't mind, we'll talk business first.
Chip off the old block. Sure, business always first. After maybe you come out to the house and have dinner, huh? Talk over old times, your family.
Sure, maybe.
All right, you go right ahead. Tell me what you want to order. 1,000 mattresses in Box Springs, huh? 10,000? Anything you want, my boy, and at a good price.
Well, like I said, that depends.
Uh-huh. What kind of a deal? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you. Your papa's a very smart man, you know that? He's a good businessman. I know what he's thinking, so I know what you're thinking. All right. If you want to give me a nice big order for a lot of merchandise, I'll name you a price that you... Listen, Barney, I've got such a good customer in Philadelphia these days. Not mentioning any names, but you'll pardon me, I don't even miss your papa's business. Understand me? But to get your business back again, I'll make you the same type deal I give this man. For a firm order, that is, you understand? No cancellations.
You'll pre-ticket the merchandise. That is, put the list price on the labels for me, for us.
Any price you say, regardless of the cost to you. Look over here, my boy. The pictures of our merchandise here on the wall.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Night Cloud Perfection Suite.
Well, we'll put on any name you like. One should sound like some national brand, we'll think up a name for you.
Not a bad deal, so far.
And we make up as many models as you want. You know, we change just the ticking. They look different. All 196 springs. I personally guarantee it.
Only 196?
That's all you need, sure. Nobody can tell the difference. Except, of course, the demonstrators you keep on the floor to show the customer. The demonstrators got 392 springs. Those you can jump on and bend them anything you like.
Yeah, and the customer thinks that's the kind he's getting.
What else? I tell you, Barney boy, just as smart as your old man.
Yeah. Now, what about the price?
The price. Now, Barney, this you can't resist. You understand, out here in the country, low overhead, no labor problems, nobody snooping.
Yeah, I know. How much?
Well, for you, my boy, how many?
Well, say 10,000 units.
10,000 units. All right, I'll give you a special price.
How much?
Well, now, this depends on the ticking material. You look here. See? First-class material looks like twice the money.
Go on.
Plain blue and white ticking, that costs you, and remember, Barney, this is very special because of your papa and getting back his business, so at 10,000 units in this ticking, $14.93, and you never saw such a buy. That okay?
Strikes me as a little high.
A little high? I'm not making a thing on it. Look at here. This, the fancy ticking, this is real class. $15.06 a unit. Now, you can't beat that.
Now, wait a minute.
Of course, Barney, my boy, if you want to order a few more.
No. I think maybe I can do better up in New England.
In New England, who? Tell me who.
Well.
All right. Now, look. I told you, I've got a big customer in Philadelphia. Well, all right, never mind. We'll do it the same way for you we do for him, all right? On the books.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean $14.93, huh? Only what would you think if the bill I send you says $29.96,
Double?
Mm-hmm.
You'd make it look like I paid twice as much?
So?
Yeah. For tax purposes, I'd only be showing about half the profit I was actually making.
Smart boy, Barney.
Or suppose I insured the stuff for the amount your bills showed, and something happened to it.
Well, that's right, sure. However you want. Excuse me. Hello. Oh, hello, Ben. I was just thinking of you. I hear you had a lucky fire up there. What? Oh, no, not now. Listen, Ben, I've got a customer. I've got an important customer here, the son of a very dear old... What? Yes, he is. Yes. A blue shirt and a bow tie. Oh, no. Ben, I'll call you back. Mr. Dollar?
That's right.
Johnny Dollar.
In person, Mr.
From the
Goldman.
insurance... Oh, no.
Too bad Ben Murray's call interrupted our conversation.
Oh, what have I said?
That was a very interesting lot of facts you gave me, and I strongly suspect it'll not only put Murray out of business, but you too. And a lot of people you've been dealing with.
Dollar.
Brother, I hate to think of what the Better Business Bureau will do when they get hold of these facts. To say nothing of the Federal Trade Commission.
Dollar, listen to me.
But I have a notion it'll help to clear up one of the dirtiest chip rackets in years.
There's no need to
Even the
go on.
long-suffering public understands this sort of shady operation when it's brought to their attention.
It's not at all.
As for the decent, legitimate national firms you've been practically stealing
listen
from...
to me, Dollar, will you please listen a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Business has been good. I've made a lot of money.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
Maybe you could use a little bit. We'll call it the commission, huh? Say $10,000. In cash, it wouldn't show.
Golden, I wouldn't even spit on that kind of money.
Oh, I could maybe persuade you.
You couldn't persuade me to have any part of it. Brother, you've had it coming for a long, long time. And believe me, I'm going to see that you get it. Understand?
Yes, Dollar, you make it. I understand. I understand you, too. You dirty crook. You faker. You liar. You cheating, dirty, conniving, chiseling liar. You ruined me, you hear? You ruined me.
Yes, Fred? I'm afraid that your nice client, Ben Murray, based his insurance claim on a lot of values that didn't exist. On the hiked-up prices. Hiked up to cheat you and the income tax boys. And if that is an outright fraud, I'll eat my shirt. So you can just forget about paying that claim or any part of it. And I hope that you and the company will take whatever legal steps are necessary to put these guys out of business. Expense account total, including incidentals and the trip back to Hartford, $130.49. And cheap at half the price. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment. Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. Kansas' state flag is dark blue, and in the center is the state's seal, surmounted by a large sunflower, the official state flower. The seal reflects the history of Kansas, the train of ox wagons going west, for most of the great roads passed through Kansas. An Indian is depicted chasing a herd of buffalo, recalling the words of the official state song, "Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam." For this truly was the home of the buffalo and Indian. The east is represented by a rising sun, and the promise of future prosperity is indicated by the steamboat on the river and the farmer plowing the field. Above a mountain range are 34 stars, for Kansas was the 34th state admitted to the Union. Over all is the state motto, Ad Astra per Aspera, to the stars through difficulties. Kansas state flag, the flag of the 34th state to enter the Union, was adopted on March 23rd, 1927. Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, the case of a girl who was willing to kill for money she didn't need. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone, who also wrote tonight's story. Heard in our cast were Russell Thorson, Jack Edwards, Will Wright, Paul DeBob, Lawrence Dopkins, and Vic Perrin. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Bud Sewell speaking.
And yes, it's another Armed Forces recording, but we're glad we have it. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, from 68 years ago, Sunday, August 25th, 1957, as it was broadcast at 5:30 Eastern Time. Good show, good show. Coming up next, an episode of the CBS Radio Workshop. This episode, from that same afternoon, it aired at 4:05 Eastern Time, entitled Sweet Cherries of Charleston, and it stars Roy Glenn.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home, and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Joni James. After nuclear attack, radioactive fallout will be a potential threat to every living thing. You can't hear, or smell, or taste fallout. Often you can't see it, so you must take shelter and stay there until told it's safe to leave.
Roy Glenn from Pittsburgh, Kansas, a remarkable character actor. I suspect, had he not been African American, he could have had an even more amazing career. He was on Amos and Andy. He was on Jack Benny as a friend of Rochester, and a number of other appearances. We're going to hear this episode of the CBS Radio Workshop, and it is a bittersweet story. The tale of the Sweet Cherries of Charleston, the CBS Radio Workshop, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, August 25th, 1957.
From Hollywood, the CBS Radio Workshop, dedicated to man's imagination, the theater of the mind.
Cherries, sweet cherries, cherries ripe, 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 I cry, so sweet, so full, come and
Sweet Cherries in Charleston. The author, Richard Durham. The director, William N. Robeson. The star, Roy Glenn. The story, a saga of Denmark Vesey, who lived and died in Charleston more than 100 years ago. But they still remember Denmark Vesey down in South Carolina. They still talk about him. And this is what they say.
They say he walked as though he was the only free man in the courtroom. They say he walked as though the world watched him. They say a gamble was the beginning of it. A gamble one night at a carnival when he bought a $20 play on a lottery wheel.
She's stopping, on number 6, 7, 8, 9 blue. Number 9 pays 100 to 1. Now, who's got number 9, folks? No one's got number 9.
I got it.
You got number 9, fella.
Yeah, how much am I worth?
A number in sight saves a fight. Show it.
Here you are.
A name goes with it.
Denmark Vesey.
Vesey? Say, you're Captain Vesey's slave, ain't you?
I am.
Now, I wonder what'd happen, say, if I just refused to pay off a slave.
And I wonder what'd happen, say, if I should take a barker's neck between my fingers like this broomstick and snap it.
They'd hang you, you know.
I'll gamble on it. I always gamble heavy. All right, how much am I worth?
$2,000. Take it and get out of here.
They say Denmark wrapped his money in a cotton sack, went to see a lawyer, then went aboard his ship to see his master, Captain Vesey.
Denmark, is that you? Yes, master.
What do you want?
Master, how much am I worth?
Oh, it's that talk again, huh? I warned you once, Denmark. I warn you again. Get those ideas out of your head.
I'm asking...
I'm telling you. This craving for freedom is a sickness. It's unbecoming to a slave.
But, master...
It's those books you read that turn your head. I watch you talk to slaves in the market. You read to them from the Bible. You read Tom Paine and Jefferson. You tell the slaves that all men are brothers and born equal, huh? Nonsense.
No, it ain't, master.
I know what you're up to. I know you working in your spare time for other masters. You get $50 here, quarter there. You hope to save enough to buy your freedom. You know how long that would take you?
A very long time.
Methuselah could not live so long. I need money, too. I know how hard it comes these days.
Then why don't you sell me?
Where could I get your price?
How much am I worth?
Even at your most stubborn, you are a capable man, Denmark. You are worth at least $2,000.
Here's $2,000.
Denmark,
And here's a set of release papers. Will you sign them?
Sign?
Yeah, you need the money.
Yeah, you sure?
I need my freedom.
$2,000. I talk hard, but I'm not a hard man. And I know you find a way to escape if I didn't let you go. I see it in your eyes. Somehow I feel like I am releasing a tornado. Here are your papers. Well, what will you do with this freedom?
What do you do with this money?
I use it to help those I love, my wife, my children.
I use my freedom to help those I love.
Yeah, I know. You in love with that girl who sells cherries in the marketplace, huh? But her master will never set her free. Never. So what good will your freedom do her, huh? Then, Mark, get below and sweep up my cabin.
You asking me or ordering me?
You. Right away you begin. You know, Denmark, it's strange to have owned a man's body for 20 years, not to know the first thing about his mind. All right, go, Denmark. You're free.
Sweet cherries, cherries ripe, I cry, so sweet, so full, coming by.
I'll buy you cherries.
Denmark,
All of them.
how can you afford cherries?
Yesterday I was a slave, Annie. Today I'm a free man.
Then it's true about your luck.
That can be the same kind of luck for you, Annie.
You talk like a jackass. Where'd I get enough money to buy myself?
Oh, it ain't the money alone that makes a person free.
Money did all right by you.
And a gamble. And I know a bigger gamble. Would you gamble?
If the stakes were right.
If the stakes was freedom. If I could show you that every slave in Charleston is ripe to rebel, to build a new life where all men are equal, where a man could marry the woman he loved without fear of having her torn from him in the night, or sold from out of his arms, would you gamble for that?
Are my cherries red?
Blood red.
My stakes are in.
They say Denmark's disease hit the slaves in the marketplace like a plague. They say he believed no slave was immune to it, and so he risked telling his plan to the well-kept and contented foreman of slaves of Colonel Potter, who had never been hungry, never been whipped, but had never been free.
Why do you come to me, Denmark? The master leave me alone, I leave him alone. I do my work and mind my business.
You know everything that goes on. I've heard you tell a slave when the train was coming on the underground track, and once you even told him how to board it and get to free land in Canada. I remember how your own sister escaped to Canada. I heard...
Don't you talk that way around here.
Rolla, you've worked well for your master. Now work well for yourself. You know every slave that handles a horse. The day'll come when we'll need them. Will you be with us?
How'll I know when the day comes?
When we're strong enough. If you come and bring all those that follow you, we'll have more than 1,000.
If I go to them, they'll come, but there are others who only follow the leader of a slave called Peter Poyas. He's a man of the gospel and a man of peace. If you could get Peter, it would be worth the chance. I'll come if he come.
You go to your friends. I'll go to the slave called Peter.
They say Denmark opened the Bible that evening and read through the night. Read Exodus and Leviticus, Joshua and Job. And in the gray morning before dawn went to the cabin of the slave Peter.
Come marching in. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number.
Morning, Peter.
Why, morning, Denmark.
Peter, I've been reading the Bible all night.
I read it every night, Denmark.
I've been reading the words of Ezekiel and of Zechariah.
Yeah, I know the words of Zechariah.
Then you know he said, Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken. Charleston is Jerusalem.
Is that why you bought your freedom?
That's why I live. That's why I come to you.
Denmark, I'm against violence. My God and I are against bloodshed.
Are you against slavery?
I'm against destruction and hatred. My God is against setting one man against another.
Is your God against slavery?
God's against it.
Then how's he going to cure it? Can he reach the hearts of the slaveholders?
Their hearts are made of stone.
Don't it say somewhere that the Lord helps them that helps themselves?
Denmark, the Lord warned Gideon once to be careful about the men he picked to lead his army. There may be a Judas among the slaves.
You ain't no Judas. You just pick out those you can trust.
My followers will come, but there are those who don't follow me. There are the superstitious ones who follow Gullah Jack.
Gullah? That witch doctor that sells spells and charms?
My son, in a revolution, one looks for the honest, not the honored. Some say Gullah Jack is crazy. Some say he's wise. But I know he's honest. Go to him.
Who that? By a charm, you should come at night. Cast a spell, come only in the twilight. Who that?
Oh, it's you. Denmark Vesey, the disbeliever. Why do you come here?
Gullah, I want you to cast a spell that'll make the slaves know the land is theirs as much as their masters. Tie together black men and white men in a common fight to free every man in Charleston. Cast a charm that'll bind them together like a Gideon's army to strike when the hour comes. Now, if you the wizard, they say you are.
So, this is the reason you're here.
Is there a better reason?
There are better men than I to do what you want. Go back to your books. Leave me alone.
But, Gullah...
I know you, Denmark. You come to laugh at me. You say, witch doctor, cast me a spell to make men free. Maybe I'm crazy. Yes, maybe. But I ain't no fool. But you, Denmark, you should have stayed a slave if you believe the masters can be changed by a spell. If I could cast a charm to free a man, wouldn't I cast one to free myself?
Listen, Gullah. I read one time of a giant who fell asleep in a foreign land. And while he slept, hordes of little men tied him with ropes and chains. And as long as the giant was asleep, he's a slave. But when he woke up and stretched and shook himself, the chains snapped and the ropes broke, and the little men hopped off his back like fleas, and he stood up free and strong. Now the slaves are giants, and the justice that's in the heart of every fair-minded man in this land, justice is a giant. The masters are the little men. When the slaves wake and stretch, they'll be free. And you can help them waken.
I see. Maybe I can help. Maybe I...
Who's that?
Hold your place, Denmark. That's my master. He's a word man. He comes at night for a sleeping spell. I'll give it to him. Then we'll awaken the giant.
They say Denmark and Gullah Jack Rollerhard and Peter Poyas made a pact to wake up the giant and put the slaveholders to sleep. They say month after month the fever spread, infecting thousands. The fever of freedom. The day was near when Denmark's disease could not be quarantined. They say Denmark gathered his leaders together in the hayloft of a lonely barn to fix the hour.
Roller, you done got together the horses and riders?
Every slave who handles a horse will be ready to pull cannons once we get them.
Gullah?
I've been in the arsenal. I cast the spell for the captain just yesterday. The arsenal's full of cannon and powder.
You, Peter?
Denmark, the Lord spoke to me last night.
Yeah?
And he said, watch out for Judas.
Yeah, we'll be watching. Now, we're set today an hour.
I've noticed the stars, and they sit well for this month. Tomorrow the moon hangs low, and it'll be blood red.
I've watched the way the militia moves, and we'll have to move quicker.
Denmark! They found out. They're coming looking for us.
What? Who's looking? Who's found out?
Everybody.
Who is everybody?
Colonel Potter.
Who told you?
It wasn't me, not me. Jason, the houseboy. We gotta run.
We won't run. We're gonna stand our ground. Roller?
Yes?
The Colonel's your master. You face him.
Well, what?
Yeah, I can see him coming from here. The Colonel, his guards, and the houseboy. Go down and meet him, Roller.
Why?
You gotta face your accuser. You gotta out-talk him or we'll all hang. Now go on.
Shall I cast a charm for Roller?
Let Roller cast his own charm. Go on down, Roller. Face him.
They say Denmark waited in the loft while Roller climbed down the ladder and walked to the door to face his accuser. They say at that moment the Colonel had the revolt resting at its gunpoint.
Master, come in.
You needn't say master to me anymore. When this is done, you'll be dead.
Dead?
Yes, dead. Jason told me about the plot. Before you die, you'll give me the name of every leader and recruit in your rebellion.
What are you talking about, Master?
Jason? Yes, Master? Jason, tell Roller what you overheard. I heard him say he'd get men to burn the plantations. Some slaves would escape to Canada, and others would go about the land free and the unfree. That's the way he put it. Well, Roller?
I feel sorry for poor Jason.
Feel sorry for yourself.
And I feel sorry for you, Master, for believing him. You know Jason's run off twice.
What's that got to do with you?
I won't argue with him.
Don't deny he's telling the truth.
I don't deny I'm the best slave you got. I've worked harder and earned more for you than Jason, haven't I?
You've done that?
I'm the best treated slave in Charleston. I've never complained or asked for anything. Have I?
No, you haven't.
Then wouldn't it seem I like my slavery, that I love my master?
It seems a sane, logical man would.
If you kill me, who'll handle your crops as well as I do? Who'll earn money for you the way I do?
You'll never give me trouble. It don't seem natural you'd start now.
No, Master, it don't.
Jason? Yes, Master? I'm going to teach you a lesson for trying to stir up trouble. But, Master... Guard, take him to the yard. 30 lashes. I didn't do nothing. And Roller?
Yes, Master.
Roller, you'd better be telling the truth. For there'll come a day.
Yes, Master. There is coming a day.
They say the Colonel lowered his gun and left the barn. And Denmark, Peter, and Gullah came together and pushed ahead the day of deliverance.
We can't wait no longer. They'll call up the militia for show now. We've got to beat them to the arsenal. We move tonight.
If the militia gets there first, should we turn back?
This road leads only one way, to liberty or death.
Sweet cherries, right back right.
Is the road clear, Annie?
It's clear now, but the militia will be coming soon.
Yeah, you warn us when you see them.
I'll warn you. I'll stand in their way selling cherries. When I call blood red, they're coming up the hill.
They may take your life for this.
My life is your life, Denmark. Now let me sell my cherries.
We'll see what we can buy over to Arsenal. Peter, you ready?
The Lord has spoken.
Gullah?
Twist your neck, tap your knee. When the moon goes down, we'll be free.
All right, let's move.
When the moon comes down to blood, Oh, when the moon comes down to blue.
They say a red moon hung low over Charleston. They say Denmark led, Peter sang, and the slaves fell in behind the moving men. They say on plantations and farms, in cabins and houses, 100 miles around, men waited to hear the arsenal crack. But they say the militia got there first and charged through the marketplace before Denmark got to the gates of the arsenal. They say you could hear the cherry woman cry when her eyes caught sight of the soldiers.
Blood-red cherries, blood-red
They say the shots tore her down like a vine off a tree. Red cherries jumped into the gutter. Red blood shot from the wounded and the dying. Red cherries rolled under the feet of the fighting, the straining, the reaching to be free. They say the reaching fell short. They say the militia took the arsenal. They say they took 100 dead slaves to their grave and 100 leaders to jail. And they took Denmark Vesey to the rack and at last to court.
Denmark Vesey.
Yes, Your Honor.
Before I pass sentence, do you have anything to say to explain your crimes?
I have a word, Your Honor.
Speak and be brief.
You speak of my crimes, Your Honor. Yet I feel no guilt. On the contrary, I felt to be idle while other men yearned to be free was wrong. So I was not idle. Others talked, I acted. I'd act again.
Order! Is that all you can say to explain your treachery?
Your Honor, what you call my treachery began when I read the Declaration of Independence. When I read what Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Paine, Lafayette, and Jefferson said and did. And their words warm my blood. They said, each of us belong to each other. Even you to me and I to you. Therefore, is there a man born of woman who is not my brother? Is there a woman born of suffering who is not my sister? Is there a price for such humanity? When I was a slave, I discovered my price and I paid it. If today my life is the price I must pay, I shall pay. For somewhere there's another life and another day. Such a day when justice becomes a giant, when to be human becomes a habit. Such a day our children shall see, as bright as the cherries they sell in the market, as bright as the cherries of the woman I loved.
They say the clerk stopped writing and put away the record. The court called for the highest price. The hangman's hand tightened, then relaxed on the rope. Denmark paid, and the masters went home to bed. But they say Gullah Jack in his cell cast a spell, and no master slept well. For they say the giant was awake, and the giant never slept again, till all the slaves were free. That's what they say about Denmark Vesey.
From Hollywood, the CBS Radio Workshop has presented Sweet Cherries in Charleston, written by Richard Durham, with Roy Glenn playing Denmark Vesey. Ted DeCorsia was the narrator, and the music was composed and conducted by Amerigo Marino.
Included in the cast were Abby Shuford, Stotts Cotsworth, Eddie Marr, Paul Frees, Corny Anderson, Parley Bear, and Harry Bartell. Next week, the Workshop will present from New York a study of a hit-and-run driver. Death drives a black sedan. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Probably Roy Glenn is best remembered in motion pictures. I mean, he was in a number of pictures. Dark Manhattan, the Jackie Robinson story, Carmen Jones, Porgy and Bess. But he also was in A Raisin in the Sun, and he was the father of Sidney Poitier's character in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. His last big screen appearance was in the 1971 film Support Your Local Gunfire. Glenn passed away that year, March of 1971. He was just 56 years of age. The CBS Radio Workshop presentation of a very amazing time. I mean, we can never relate to this stuff. We can't. Sweet Cherries of Charleston, CBS Radio Workshop, which wraps up our look at this at Sunday, August 25th, 1957, 68 years ago today. All right, coming up tomorrow, we will have comedy with the Great Gildersleeve, George Burns, Gracie Allen, Milton Berle, and the Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. On Wednesday, we'll be joined by the Whistler, Jeff Regan, Investigator, the Adventures of Philip Marlowe, and Let George Do It. On Thursday, Westerns with Have Gun Will Travel and Gunsmoke. We'll also have an episode of Night Watch and Peter Lorre in Mystery in the Air. On Friday, as we mentioned, Howard Duff will be with us with the Adventures of Sam Spade and Lon Clark as Nick Carter, Master Detective. We'll have a 1956 episode of Suspense, Joseph Kearns starring in Hold Up, and The Whistler from 1942. Saturday, we'll have Gunsmoke, Have Gun Will Travel, the Screen Director's Playhouse presentation of Mother is a Freshman, and then on Sunday, we will have Colloquy 3, an analysis of satire, comedy, starring Stan Freberg. We'll have Judy Canova, George Burns, Gracie Allen, joined by Frank Sinatra, and Jack Parr. A week from today, we'll have shows from this date in September 1st, 1957. Frank Lovejoy in a suspense program, The Man from Tomorrow, an episode of the CBS Radio Workshop, Grief Drives a Black Sedan, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and Stan Freberg. That's all coming up a week from today, here on the Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox podcast. We'll wrap up today's show with an episode of Calling All Cars from 1938.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home, and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Listen and learn through civil defense. This is Johnny Cash. I'd like all of you to remember that America can withstand enemy attack if we support the emergency plans of our community and learn to help ourselves. Make sure you're prepared. Contact your local civil defense office today.
What do I do? We've got another comedy coming up after this, but right now let's go back 87 years, August 25th, 1938. Calling All Cars and the 13th Grave.
Calling All Cars, the copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Fresno County Sheriff's Office calling all cars. Attention all cars, broadcast 248 regarding a missing person. Described as a male American, 72 years, 5 feet 8 inches, was last seen on March 22nd. Notify the Fresno County Sheriff. That's all. Rosenquist.
I believe it's true, friends, that you get out of an automobile just about what you put into it. Fill your gas tank with the not-so-good gasoline, and how will your car perform?
Not so good.
Put in Rio Grande Cracked, and you get
quicker starting, smoother acceleration, greater power, better mileage, and the top speed of which your car is capable. Because all of these qualities are instilled into this superior gasoline.
And that explains why a certain group of knowing drivers selected Rio Grande Cracked. They wanted a gasoline that had all 5 of these qualities. They tested every available brand and found that Rio Grande Cracked had everything. That is why more police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment on the boulevards and highways of California today are powered by Rio Grande Cracked than any other brand. We are also proud of the fact that Rio Grande Cracked is the gasoline preferred by the heads of the California state and federal government, and equally happy that tens of thousands of your motorists have also chosen Rio Grande Cracked. If you've not done so, drop around at the red and white Rio Grande station in your neighborhood tomorrow and join the rest of us in getting police car performance with Rio Grande Cracked, the gasoline of the people and for the people, the most highly recommended gasoline sold in the West. The story we hear tonight has been taken from the confidential records on file in the office of Sheriff George Overholt of Fresno County. We have therefore asked Sheriff Overholt to prepare a foreword for our program.
Circumstantial evidence is something that the average person has classified as an undesirable thing. Many have been led to believe that circumstantial evidence should not be used to convict a man of a felony. However, consider for a moment the many and varied stories that have been told in court by eyewitnesses to a crime, and contrast those stories with the indisputable evidence of physical facts. It is significant that in the state of California, the death penalty has been assessed only twice on the basis of circumstantial evidence, and both those cases have come from Fresno County. Tonight's story is one of them, and although this case is still on appeal, there is little doubt but that the judgment of the trial court will be upheld. However, I shall reserve additional comment for the end of the program. Sheriff's Office. Overholt speaking.
This is the County Welfare Bureau.
What can I do for you?
Well, we've just been out to the shack where Old Man Leak lives. He isn't there.
Well, what do you want us to do?
Well, I think you should investigate. The old man has been coming in regularly every week for the past couple of months. We haven't seen him now in 2 weeks. We sent one of our workers out today to see if anything had happened to him, and she reports that his shack seems pretty torn up. We're afraid something may have happened to the old man.
All right, I'll put somebody on it. Is Jack Tower out there?
Yeah, Sheriff, right here.
Well, get John Ford and come in here.
Deputy Ford and Tar made an inspection of the missing man's cabin, but found nothing to arouse their suspicions. They returned to the office to report their findings to Overholt.
Well, Tar, what did you and Ford find out on that leak job?
I don't know. I don't see anything to worry about. Looks to me like the old man just wandered off somewhere, and while he was gone, somebody broke into the joint. The place has been pretty well ransacked.
We talked to some of the Mexicans living out there close to the brickyard, and none of them have seen the old man since sometime late in March.
Well, I guess he'll turn up. Oh, by the way, Ford, you know a colored boy named Ray Davis?
Oh, I don't think so. Why?
Well, he was in here a while ago looking for you. Said he'd come back.
There's a colored boy out there in the hall, but his name's Green.
Well, call him in. Maybe he's the one.
Come in here, Willie.
Yes, sir.
You want to see me?
Yes, sir, Mr. Ford. I want to talk to you.
All right, come on in here. Is this the boy, Sheriff?
Yes, that's the fellow. I thought you told me your name was Ray Davis.
Yes, I did.
Well, why don't you make up your mind what your name is?
Oh, I can explain that.
What's the trouble, Willie?
You all know old man Leak live out the brickyard.
Leak? What about it?
Well, there's something I think I ought to tell you about the old man. He done made me a proposition.
What kind of a proposition?
Well, he done made me a proposition to blow you fellas up.
Huh? Blow who up?
Blow up the sheriff's office and all you fellas. Well, Mr. Ford and Mr. Tar, all of you.
Well, what did you say about this proposition?
I told him he's crazy.
Well, when did all this happen?
About a week ago.
And just how are you going to do it?
Well, the old man was going to get some dynamite and put it in a suitcase, and he told me to come up here and sit down out there in the hall and wait till you fellas was all in here. Then he told me I was to stick my cigarette on the fuse and just walk out.
And what else?
Well, he got 5 gallons of gasoline and some coal oil, and he wanted me to pour it on the Mexican shacks down there and burn them up, and the Mexicans in them. But,
well, what was the idea of that?
Well, they say them Mexicans been stealing some stuff out in this place, and besides, he wanted one of the houses that one of them was living in. And he figured if he was to burn up some of them, the others would leave. He said they'd been stealing dynamite out of the brickyard, too.
Well, and what were you supposed to get out of this, Willie?
Well, he's going to give me $300 for the job. Give me $100.
Oh, he gave you $100? Where'd he get $100?
Oh, he had lots of money. Took it out of the bank.
When?
Oh, long time ago. Last year sometime, just after you fellas had him in jail here. He said he was going to leave town.
Well, why didn't he?
He said he wasn't going to leave till he got even with you fellas for arresting him that time when he's carrying them guns.
I see. Well, what happened to this dynamite idea?
Well, I wasn't going to do it nohow, but I just told him I would.
Mm-hmm. And where's the old man now?
Don't know for sure, but, well, he said he'd write me a letter from San Francisco. They ain't come yet. Boy, I didn't know it was that late. I got to be getting over to the post office. I got a package coming in.
Well, wait a minute, Willie. It's a nice watch you got there. Where'd you get it?
Oh, I bought that Waltham when I was in Stockton 2 years ago. Sure is a fine watch, too.
Well, this isn't a Waltham. This is a Hamilton watch, Willie.
Yes, sir, that's what I said, Hamilton.
You said Waltham. Never mind. What makes you think you're going to get a letter from old man Leak?
Oh, he just said he'd write to me.
Well, you run along, and as soon as you hear from him, you let us know. We'd like to talk to him about that dynamite idea.
I sure do that, Mr. Ford, because I don't want to get mixed up with the law. I know crime don't pay.
What made you decide that?
In them 7 years I put in San Quentin.
All right, run along, Willie. Be sure you come back here when you get that letter.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ford.
And close that door.
Yes.
Well, what do you think? I don't know. I can't figure out why that boy came around here. Well, maybe he's telling the truth. Well, he probably is, but why did he want to come tell us the story? Well, maybe he thinks it's a good idea to stay on the side of law and order. Yeah, San Quentin does that for some guys. Oh, John, you know what he went up for? Burglary from Merced. Seems to be going straight now, though, as far as I can find out. What does he do for a living? Oh, he paints a few signs. He's a pretty good sign painter. Washes and polishes cars, digs cisterns and cesspools and whatever else he can find. You think he'll come back when he gets the letter from the old man? If he doesn't, I'll slap him in the hoosegow.
2 days later, on the 31st of March, Green again puts in an appearance at the sheriff's office.
Well, Mr. Ford, I got the letter.
That's so? Let's see it. Come on in the office.
Yes, sir.
Willie got his letter, Sheriff.
Oh, that's so?
Yeah.
Let me read it. Willie, are you sure Leak wrote this letter?
Yes, sir, I'm pretty sure.
Why does he call you Ray Davis?
Well, that's on account of the other letter in the package.
Now, wait a minute. What letter and what package?
The letter with the check in it.
Maybe you better tell us about that one, Willie.
Well, sir, the other day before Mr. Leak left, he called me over and he said to me, Willie, how'd you all like to go in business?
What kind of business?
Oh, you know, the sign painting business.
Go on.
Well, he said, here's a $100 bill. Now, you take it and go buy yourself something. But don't cash that bill in Fresno, because he'll get suspicious and start asking you questions.
Who is this that was going to get suspicious?
Well, I don't know, but I reckon he meant you fellas here in the office.
Well, what did you do with the $100 bill, huh?
Well, I put it in the envelope. No, I didn't. I give it to Mr. Leak, and he put it in the envelope and sent it to Montgomery Ward and opened it.
Well, what did he do that for?
Well, I wanted some records for my phonograph, so I marked off the records I wanted on the page in the catalog and give it to Mr. Leak. He put it in the envelope and sent it off. And he told him to send it to Ray Davis. That's why I got in trouble over the post office.
What kind of trouble?
Well, when I went over there to ask for my letter, the lady, she say, wait a minute. And then she called up some fella, and he come down, and he say, is your name Ray Davis? And I says, yes, sir. And he says, you know anybody around here? And I says, yes, sir. I know Mr. Ford and the boys over at the sheriff's office. And he say, well, how come you send a $100 bill after $4 worth of records? I says, how come you all know that? And he said, well, they got suspicious in the audit department at Montgomery Ward, and they call him the Secret Service man.
Well, what did you tell the man at the post office?
Oh, I just told him that I didn't know no better and wanted to get the change.
I thought you said Leak was going to give you $300 for this dynamite job you were going to do.
Yes, sir. He say something about that in the letter there. Why, he say he give me the other 200 when he reading the papers that I done the job. He say he'd make a lot of trouble for me, though, if I tells anybody about this.
Wait a minute. That letter was sealed when you gave it to me a while ago. How does it happen you know what is in it?
Well, I just guessed that's what he's going to say.
Well, you did some pretty close guessing, Willie. But that's exactly what this letter does say. John, would you bring me Leake's fingerprint card? Yeah, right away. Willie, when did you tell me that you saw Leake the last time?
About a week ago.
You mean last Saturday?
Yes, sir, sometime around there.
Well, was it before Saturday or after?
Must have been after Saturday, because it was after that I was back from San Francisco. And I was in San Francisco on the Sunday. So it must have been after that. No, sir. I believe it was the Sunday before that.
Here's the old man's card, Sheriff.
Here, Willie. Write Ray Davis on this sheet of paper. Take a look at this card, John. See any similarity between this handwriting and this letter of Leake's that Willie has?
No, not very much.
Here's that piece of paper, Sheriff.
Oh, thank you, Willie. Well, what do you think, John?
I think you've got something worth looking into.
You all through with me, Mr. Ford?
Stick around a while, Willie. We might want some more information.
Yes.
Sheriff, I've just been out taking up a... Well, what's that guy doing in here?
He brought us a letter that he got from Leake today.
Oh, he did, huh? Look, Willie, how'd you like to run over and get me a package of cigarettes?
Sure, be glad to, Mr. Tar.
Fine. Here's 4 bits. Get something for yourself, too.
Yes, sir. I'll be right back.
No hurry.
How come you're getting so generous all of a sudden?
I wanted to get him out of here. I didn't want him to be suspicious.
Well, why should he be suspicious?
Well, that Martin and I just got back from checking over old man Leake's place, talking to some of the neighbors out there. According to the dope we got, the last man seen with old man Leake was Willie Green, and that was on the night of March 19th.
Well, now just wait a minute. John, didn't Willie tell us he was in San Francisco on the 20th?
Yes, he did.
Well, maybe he was. But here's something else.
Well, what's that?
A little item we found close to the railroad track out near the brickyard.
Old pair of overalls, huh?
Bloody torn overalls. But I'll bet my bottom dollar belonged to old man Leake.
Well, where'd you find them?
Exactly 351 feet from the edge of Potter's Field. You see, the pockets have been cut out and the buckles torn off. Found these buckles 92 feet farther toward the graveyard than the overalls were.
Well, this is beginning to add up to something.
What do you think?
I don't know. Ed Martin's got a bunch of men going over the ground out there by the brickyard. I've got a hunch that out there somewhere we're going to find old man Leake's body.
Well, how about this letter he wrote Willie Green?
I don't know, but I'm sure going to find out.
What kind of cigarette you all want, Mr. Tar? You didn't tell me.
I never mind, Willie. Come on in. I want to have a talk with you.
Yes, sir.
Willie, when did you see old man Leake last?
I think it must have been around the middle of the month.
Mm-hmm. And what time did you go to San Francisco last week?
Well, left here Saturday morning and stopped off in Merced, and then I got a freight train out of Merced. Got in San Francisco about midnight.
Midnight, huh? Where'd you stay?
A little hotel down close to SP Depot.
You remember the name of the place?
No, sir, but I can find it for you.
Willie, are you sure you didn't see old man Leake last Saturday night?
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
Where was he the last time you saw him?
He's down there by the creek. Close to the bridge.
All right. Go on out and get those cigarettes.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. There's a bare possibility that the old man may have wandered off down there and tumbled into that canal.
Oh, for the love of Mike, don't tell me we're going to have to drag that canal again.
No, but we're sure going to have a look at every foot of it.
Working on the theory that the missing man may have fallen into the stream or that he might have been killed and his body placed in the water, the officers began a systematic inspection of the canal. Fearful lest grappling hooks might miss or destroy some valuable clue, the officers determined to pump the water from the pit. Hour after hour, the steady throb of the pumps lowered the level of the water. At last, objects on the bottom became visible. In the clear water of the pit, the deputies found their first important lead.
Well, boys, what did you find?
Plenty.
I think we've got pretty good evidence that old man Leake is dead. That's
so?
Come on in here, Sheriff. Bill Morton's got the stuff in his laboratory. Oh, John, bring that record card of old man Leake with you. Here's the stuff we got out of the pit, George. Here's a coat, a set of keys, and a pair of glasses.
Here's the card, Jack.
Oh, thanks. See this right temple on old man Leake's glasses?
Yeah, it's got a rubber tube on it, hasn't it?
Yeah. What the guys that repair radio sets call spaghetti.
You see that crooked nose piece?
Uh-huh.
Now take a look at these glasses we found in the gravel pit.
Yeah, they're the same ones, aren't they?
Yep. Those are Old Man Leake's glasses. They took these keys out and tried them in the old man's car. And they fit.
So, it looks like we've got another murder on our hands.
Yep.
And no body. Well, maybe not. But we've got an A number one suspect.
You mean Willie?
Yep. Willie Green.
Yeah.
Mr. Carr, you never did tell me what kind of cigarette you all want.
Oh, that's all right, Willie. Come on in. We won't need any cigarettes now. We're going to be busy.
Yes, sir. What do it?
Finding out why you killed Old Man Leake and what you did with his body.
Convinced now that a murder had been committed, officers began questioning Willie Green. Suddenly grown sullen and defiant, Green could not or would not account for his movements immediately preceding the disappearance of the murdered man. Time after time, he changed his story, each time becoming more involved than before. At last, he refused to answer any questions, but carefully worded conversations which the officers held between themselves would from time to time goad him into fresh admissions or denials. He stoutly maintained at all times that Leake was not dead, but was in hiding. Then, on the 4th of April, Sheriff Overholt and his deputies again determined to search the neighborhood of Leake's home.
Now, just where have you boys been looking for Leake's body?
Well, we figured that if anybody was going to kill a man and bury the body, he'd choose a place that wasn't visible from all points.
Well, that's reasonable, all right.
So we've been down in the hollow there, close to the Mexican houses, over here in this low place beyond the railroad, and down in that dump heap there.
Well, that might work for an ordinary person.
What do you mean?
Did it ever occur to you that Willie did some pretty clever maneuvering when he came around to us before we knew anything had happened to Leake?
Yeah, I thought it was funny at the time.
All right. Now, let's assume that he isn't figuring like an ordinary man. Or else that he's just plain foolhardy. Let's go over this ground again. This time, let's look for the high places. Now, according to what we found out before, you boys found some bloodstains down by the railroad track there, didn't you?
Yep, that's right.
All right. Let's go a little further down the line and see what we can find.
All right.
Yeah, a guy'd have to be touched in the head to try to bury a body up here.
No, I don't think our murderer is touched in the head, Jack. I think he's a very clever man.
Well, there have been times when Willie Green showed signs of being clever.
We haven't convicted Willie Green of this murder yet, John. Did you boys look under that pile of junk over there?
No, we didn't. There's no time like the present.
Well, here. Let's move these old fenders.
All right. Well, George, this looks like the place, all right.
I'm afraid it is. Opposite the 13th Grave. Let's get a couple of fellows over here and do a little digging.
Within a few minutes, the loose sand revealed the gruesome fact that the missing man had indeed been murdered. The brutally beaten and crushed body of John Leake was taken from its shallow grave. Fingerprint examination by Deputy Mortland definitely established the identity of the murdered man. Meantime, deputy sheriffs had been checking Willie Green's story of his trip to San Francisco and of his last meeting with John Leake. Their findings reported, Green is again brought in for questioning.
Willie, how does it happen that you told us that you were in San Francisco on March 20th, when, as a matter of fact, you were in Fresno on that date, weren't you?
No, sir. I wasn't in Fresno. I was in San Francisco.
Mr. Martin here tells me different. How about it, Ed?
We checked all the rooming houses around the depot in San Francisco, and we found the place where Green stayed when he was there. It was on the night of the 26th, and not the night of the 19th and 20th.
That ain't so.
We found a woman who runs a restaurant close to the hotel, and when we showed her pictures of Willie, she recognized him as the man who'd been there, buying chicken dinners for all the crowd on Saturday night, the 26th.
I didn't buy no chicken dinner.
She told us that Willie showed her several $100 bills, and he told her he got them from his sister back in Chicago, and that his sister owned some oil wells.
How about that, Willie?
I never told her nothing of the kind.
Jack and I checked with the bank where old man Leake did his business, and they tell us that about a year ago, the old man drew $5,000 out of a savings account. Most of it in $100 bills, and some of it in $10 gold pieces.
What did you do with the gold, Willie?
I ain't never had no gold, except what I mined when I was up at the SERA camp.
We checked up on that Merced angle. We found that Willie had been there, that he paid a woman where he used to live some back room rent. She said that he took the money out of a wallet, and that the name on the wallet was Leake.
She's lying. Don't like me, that's all.
What kind of a watch do you own, Willie?
A Waltham, I done told you once. Besides, you ought to know you took it away from me.
You mean this watch?
Yeah, that's the one. The took it away from me when they locked me up.
But this watch is a Hamilton.
So what? I should call it a Walton.
Wait a minute. Let's see that record card of old man Leak.
Here it is.
Now, look, George. Here's a list of the property that the old man had on him when we picked him up last year.
Uh-huh. I see.
Where did you get this watch, Willie?
I bought it from a little jewelry store in Stockton 2 years ago, right close to the courthouse.
And you call it a Waltham, huh?
Yeah.
Well, part of the property of old man Leak, the part of it that's missing, was a Waltham watch.
So what?
And this Hamilton watch is clean inside. It hasn't been carried any 2 years.
Well, that don't prove nothing.
Maybe not. But I'll lay you a little bet that before I'm through, it'll prove that you killed old man Leak.
From the file of the previous case involving the murdered man, officers learned that the missing watch had been purchased from a jeweler in Coalinga. Accordingly, they took the watch which Green claimed he had purchased in Stockton to the jeweler for examination.
Good morning, Mr. Petty. You know Deputy Martin, don't you?
Yeah, why, sure. Hi, Ed.
Fine. Mr. Petty, we've got a watch we want you to look over. See if you have any record of ever having cleaned it. Here it is.
Yeah, it's a good-looking watch. Just a minute, let me look inside the case.
All right.
No, I never had this watch in here, but here's a number that indicates that the watch was repaired in 1936 by a jeweler at the Army post in the Presidio in San Francisco.
1936, huh?
He might be able to tell you something about it.
Well, okay, thanks. We'll check with him. Now, you do repair work for most of the fellas here in the post, don't you?
Well, as much of it as I can get.
I see. You ever see this watch before?
Well, let me look at it. Yes, I repaired this watch about, I guess... Oh, wait a minute, let me see. In August 1936.
Well, fine.
Wait a minute, I've got his name right here. Yes, here it is. Joe Gilbert, Company F.
Joe Gilbert, huh? You're sure it was 1936?
Well, certainly. Here's the date right here.
Well, that's fine. Look, can you tell whether that watch was ever repaired in Stockton?
Why, yes, if the repairman put his initial on it. But I don't see anything on it here that indicates that.
Okay, thanks. I think we'll go over and see Mr. Gilbert. Mr. Gilbert, I'm trying to find out something about the history of this watch. You ever seen it before?
Why, sure. That used to be my watch. I gave it to Louis Edwards. I owed him $6. He was discharged, and I didn't have any cash, so I gave him the watch.
Well, do you know where Louis Edwards is now?
No, but he used to live up at Oroville.
Good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Edwards?
Yes, sir. That's my name.
Well, I'm trying to get in touch with Louis Edwards. You know where I could find him?
What do you want with him?
Well, I've got a watch here that he used to own, and I'm trying to trace the place where he sold it.
Is he in any kind of trouble?
Oh, no. No, he's not. I just want to find out where this watch has been since he sold it.
Well, I don't know where he is right now. He was working for a man down on F Street in Bakersfield the last time I heard from him.
I see. Well, thanks. Oh, if you hear from him, ask him to get in touch with the sheriff's office in Fresno, will you?
I know. Edwards ain't been here for 3 or 4 months, I guess. He said he was going down to visit a brother of his in Compton.
No, Louis hasn't been here for a month or more, I guess. He's down at Jack's place in Palm Springs. He's another brother.
Nope, Louis's not here. Haven't seen him since he came down from Bakersfield. Said he was going to live with Gene over in Compton.
Yeah, but Gene hasn't seen him for a month.
Well, you might try the family again. They moved up to Marysville.
Okay.
No, Louis hasn't been home, but he might come in any day now. Just as soon as he does, I'll get in touch with you.
Faced with the seemingly hopeless task of finding the man who had previously owned the watch, Under Sheriff Tarr returned to Fresno. Then, in company with other officers, they attempted to trace the watch through the records of the San Francisco Police Department in the hope that those records might show the purchase by the suspected man. Again, they were faced with the impossible task of checking thousands of records with insufficient information upon which to base their search. Then, one day, from Marysville, word came from Louis Edwards, giving the name and address of a pawn shop giving the name and address of a pawn shop in San Francisco where the watch had been sold less than a year before. Immediately, Deputy Martin and Tar contacted the pawnbroker.
Now, look, I've got a watch here that's supposed to have been sold by this shop.
Say, weren't you the fellows in here the other day?
No, but we've been in every other hock shop in San Francisco.
Well, let me look at that watch. Well, I don't know. It'll take me a long time to check all my records.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion you won't have to look very far, because I believe that this watch was bought here between the 15th of last month and the 1st of this month.
All right, let's start looking with March 15th.
I think you can get it farther down than that, Jack. We know that Green was in Fresno the night of the 19th. Let's start with the 20th.
Okay, the 20th it is. 20th, no Hamilton. 21st, no Hamilton. 22nd, no Hamilton. 23rd,
no Hamilton.
No Hamilton. None on the 24th. 25th, no. 26th, no. 27th. How about a Waltham?
Waltham? What about it?
I bought a Waltham on the 27th, and I traded a Hamilton, a 21-jewel watch for it, and got a $10 gold piece in trade.
Are you sure of that?
Positive. You can see for yourself. I sold this Hamilton watch to a young colored man, weighed about 150 pounds, 5 feet 8 inches, according to the sales slip. Here's his name, Ray Davis. I got a gold-faced Waltham watch and a $10 gold piece. You say, wait a minute, there's no trouble about this watch, is there? Is there?
Huh? Oh, no. No, not very much. Just a fella got murdered for it, that's all.
All right, Willie. Now I want the truth about old man Leake.
I done told you all the truth.
Oh, no, you haven't. You told us that Leake wrote you a letter on the 27th day of March.
That's right.
Well, Leake was dead on the 23rd of March, Willie, and buried.
How you all know that?
Because, Willie, it rained on the 23rd day of March, and the grave where we found old man Leake had been rained on. Besides, the handwriting on that letter and the handwriting on the jeweler's sales slip where you bought that watch, and on the envelope when you ordered the records, the handwriting is all the same.
Well, it ain't mine.
And all those specimens of handwriting are the same as that on the letters you wrote when you were in San Quentin. Now, what about it, Willie?
I ain't talking. I said no.
Yes, Willie, I'm afraid you have. You've said too much. As a matter of fact, it's going to hang you.
In just a moment, Sheriff Overholt will tell us additional facts regarding tonight's story. But just a reminder, friends, just as you think of police car performance, Rio Grande cracked gasoline, whenever you hear the shrill cry of sirens, will you do this? When you need an oil change, think of Reolube, the stronger, smoother lubricant that can't break down. For Reolube is justly known as the newest and finest motor oil sold in the West. And now, Sheriff Overholt.
On purely circumstantial evidence, Willie Green was brought to trial, and in exactly 55 minutes, a jury returned a verdict of guilty. The evidence of the watch was the most conclusive of all, and Green received the death sentence as payment for his crime.
Thank you, Sheriff Overholt.
Sheriff's Office calling all cars, attention all cars, cancellation of broadcast 248 regarding a missing person. Suspect in this case is now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande.
87 years ago, August 25th, 1938, calling all cars here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll head to Pine Ridge, Arkansas. See what's going on with Lum and Abner in just a moment.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Pat Boone. In case of enemy attack, you must know your warning signals. A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means tune your radio dial to 640 or 1240. A 3-minute wavering tone or a series of short blasts, take cover immediately.
Thank you, Pat Boone. Now we head to Pine Ridge, Arkansas, see what's going on, the latest with Lum and Abner, and how they're trying to raise money to get what they need to take care of Squire Skimp. Going back 83 years, August 25th, 1942.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner.
We received a mighty nice letter from one of you listeners the other day thanking the Alka-Seltzer folks for making these visits with Lum and Abner possible. Our friend said that life and events in Pine Ridge remind her so much of her days back in her own little hometown when she was a girl. Then she went on to say that while those were the good old days in many respects, she'd hate to have to go back to them. Because in those days, there was no such thing as Alka-Seltzer. And you know, there are lots of folks who feel that way. Now that they're used to relying on Alka-Seltzer to bring them fast relief for headaches, for minor stomach upsets such as acid indigestion and occasional distress after meals, for muscular aches and pains, well, they wonder how they ever got along without it. Are you acquainted with the prompt, pleasant relief Alka-Seltzer offers? If you aren't, you're really missing something. So try it, won't you? Remember, you can get Alka-Seltzer at all drugstores, by the package or by the glass at the soda fountain. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum and Abner have not been successful in securing the $5,000 necessary to bail out the 2 mining experts they hired to make tests in the gold mine to determine its value. This leaves the old fellows only 2 alternatives, either to raise the money by selling the store or by accepting Squire Skimp's offer. The Squire's plan is that he will raise the money if they will turn the store over to him as collateral. And, of course, he will turn it back to them after the baby's gold mine has been secured and all bills repaid. As we look in on the little community today, we find Abner in the Jot-'em Down store and library. Lum is just entering. Listen.
Well, morning, Lum.
Yeah, morning, Abner. Hey, what's that sign you got up out there in front? Big auction today.
Oh, you seen that, huh?
Well, how could I help it? I had to duck to keep from hitting my head on it.
Yeah, well, that's as high as I could reach, Lum. I couldn't find the ladder. I reckon it is sort of low.
Well, what's it for? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's, just an idea that me and Cedric studied up this morning to raise some money.
Raise some money?
Why, yeah, you said we ought to do everything we could to get money so that we don't have to sell the store or turn it over to Squire.
Yeah, but this auction sale idea ain't no good. Now, you better go out and take down that sign.
Well, it's too late now, Lum. Cedric's already out getting folks to come to the auction.
For goodness sakes. Well, why don't you talk things over with me first before you go getting yourself tangled up in stuff like this?
Well, I just trying to help what I was doing.
I know you was, Abner, but after you get the folks here, what are you going to auction off? What have we got to sell?
Why, we got lots of stuff around here. There's, our stove back there.
Our stove? You ain't going to sell it?
Why, yeah, and them chairs and the table over in the library and that printing press at Dodge and these last year. And
yeah.
Grandpap said he could get quite a bit for some of them things.
Grandpap said he could?
Yeah, he's coming over to be the auctioneer. He says he's an old hand at running auction sales.
Why, he never run an auction sale in his whole life, and he knows it.
Well, he claims he has.
Well, you can't believe nothing he tells you.
Well, he's done promised to do it. And he ought to be able to raise some money out of this, Lum. Every little bit helps, you'll admit that.
Yeah, but it won't help enough in this case, Abner. We got to raise that $5,000 pretty fast.
Yeah.
Because I just seen Squire up the street, and he's had another hearing from that lawyer, Mr. Blair.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah, and Mr. Blair says we better hurry up with that money or it'll be too bad for us.
Too bad?
That's what he said. Says them 2 mining experts that they got in jail's getting awful unhappy, and they say if we don't bail them out pretty quick, why, they're going to get even with us.
Get even? Oh, my goodness.
And you know what that means. It means they'll blab and tell everybody that we hired them to go into the mine, and, well, it just means a penitentiary for us, that's all.
Well, Lum, I still don't see how they figure they can get us thrown in the penitentiary. We weren't the ones that was caught sneaking into that gold mine to make them tests.
I know, but we was the ones that hired the experts to do it.
Yeah.
So that makes us as guilty as them. According to Mr. Blair, he ought to know he's a lawyer.
Yeah, but it was Mr. Blair's idea to hire them fellers, not ours.
Yeah. Well, of course, we're hiring Mr. Blair, so it looks like they got us every which way we look at it.
Yeah, I reckon so. I still don't see through it, though. Appeared awful peculiar to me, I'll say that. So what do you think we ought to do then, Lum? Just raise a $5,000 bail by selling the whole store?
Well, I just hate to do that, Abner. Because if we lose the store and then lose the case, well, we wouldn't get the baby's mine back for him. We never would get paid back.
No.
And we wouldn't have no way of supporting the baby, neither.
No, that's right. Well, I reckon then the best thing for us to do is just take Squire's offer. He said that he wouldn't actually be selling the store to him, that we'd keep on running it, and it'd be in his name's all it would be, but we'd still have it.
Yeah, I know. He said he'd just use it for collateral.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. That's what he said.
Yeah, he'd raise all the money for us. He's aiming on making a borrow at the bank, I think.
Yeah, that's what he said, and then going to put the store up. That's what he said.
Yeah. Of course, he'd turn the store back to us after we win the trial. But I don't know. I sort of hate to do that, too.
Yeah, me too. I hate to see it go in Squire's name.
I believe I'll go over and have a talk with Dick Huddleston, see if he knows any way to get hold of some money in a hurry.
All right, Doggy, that's a good idea. Yes, sir, Dick might know of something, Lum. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll run over right now. And
yeah.
In the meantime, you just forget about this auction sale idea of yours.
Huh?
No use monkeying around with that. I'll see you later. Go ahead and answer the phone.
Yeah, all right, I'll get it. Hello, John Down Store and Library. Abner Peabody doing the talking. Mom? Oh, well, he ain't got here yet, Charity. No, Mom. Do what? Yeah, well, I'll tell him when... wait a minute. I believe I see him coming up here now. Do you want to talk to him? Oh, all right. What else? Yes, Mom. Oh, no, I won't forget it. All right, Charity. Goodbye.
Well, howdy.
Howdy, Grandpa.
What am I bid? What am I offered? Make me offer somebody.
Grandpap, your woman Charity just called, and she wants you to bring home 2 bars of soap and a spool of white thread number 50, I believe she said.
Oh, well, all right. Well, come on, let's get on with the auction. What am I bid? What do you offer?
Huh?
Going to seem awful good to get back in the old harness again.
Oh, well, Grandpap, I hate to tell you, but it sort of looks like there ain't going to be no auction.
Ain't going to be no auction?
No, Lum says we can't raise no money that way, or leastways not enough to do any good, he said.
Sassafras. What does Lum know about auctions?
Well, that's what he said.
I'll raise you a couple of $1 million here.
Couple of million?
Yes, sir. I recollect one time I was running an auction sale down at Hatfield, taking in so much money I didn't have no place to put all of it. Had to start auctioning off the money so I'd have a place to stand even.
Oh, I don't believe that, Grandpa.
It's the truth. I can prove it. Well, come on, let's get the auction started.
Well, do you think we ought to, sure enough?
Well, of course we ought to. That's what I come over here for.
Well, let's try and get it over with before Lum comes back here. I'd just love to take in a big pile of money and surprise him with it.
Well, we'll surprise him, all right.
Oh, he'll be tickled to death.
All right, folks, what am I bid for?
Well, now, wait a minute, Grandpap. We ain't got nobody here to buy this stuff yet.
Oh, that's right, ain't it?
Oh, no.
Well, where are they at?
Well, I don't know. I figured by this time we'd have a
What
bunch
kind of
in here.
auction sale do you call this? No people. In all the years I've been auctioneering, I ain't never run one where there ain't no people
wait a minute,
to
wait a
do
minute,
the
wait a
bidding.
minute, wait a
You
minute.
gotta have 'em.
Grandpap, there comes Cedric. He went out to get some folks. Doggy, he's got somebody with him right now. No, that's Mousy Gray. That's who that is.
Yeah, that's Mousy.
Yeah.
Wonderful world. Well, I've got one feller.
One? Is that all you could get, Cedric?
Everybody else said they's too busy.
Too busy to come to the sale?
Yes, Mom. Mousy said he'd be glad to come in and bid and everything. Didn't you, Mousy?
Yes, sir. You know, I just love the gay-spirited bidding of an auction.
Well, come on, let's get started then. Boy, this is going to be fun, ain't it?
Well, now, wait a minute. We got to have more than just you two fellers. We're trying to raise money here.
Well, we got money, ain't we, Mousy?
Yes, sir, we've got money.
Well, shall I start then, Abner?
Well, I reckon so. Might as well take in as much as we can. Every little bit helps, I reckon.
Well, all right, here we go. What's first, Abner?
Huh?
What we going to sell first? The stove?
Oh, I don't know. I reckon so. Yeah, sell the stove. Yeah.
Well, here we are, folks. I generally always make a speech before I start selling stuff, but you all know what's here.
Yeah.
Look it over good.
Yeah.
Now, here's a dandy good stove. You've sat around it for the last 3 or 4 winters. I know you know it. It's good condition. What am I bid?
Oh, 10 cents.
11 cents.
12 cents.
Well, now, here, just a minute, you fellers. You got to bid a lot higher than that. We won't never take in no money this way.
Oh, supposed to bid a lot higher, huh?
Why, sure. We got to raise money.
Okay. Start over, Mr. Grandpap.
Yeah, all right. Now, here we are, folks. A beautiful stove. What am I bid?
$200.
$300.
$970.
$2,000.
$50,000.
$50,000?
Sold to Abner Peabody for $50,000.
To me, here now, wait a minute, Grandpap. I weren't bidding.
Now, you said $50,000. I heard you.
Well, so did Cedric.
Well, you're the only one I heard.
Huh?
He's got to learn to talk louder. All right, next article.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, Grandpap, I don't want to buy my own stove.
Well, you oughtn't to bid on it then. Next article.
Now, Grandpap, this is silly. Even if I did want to buy it from myself, I couldn't pay that for it. Fact said, I couldn't pay nothing. I ain't got no money.
Well, make whatever arrangements you can with yourself. I ain't supposed to do the collecting. I'm just the auctioneer. All right, next article. Yeah, this fine rocking chair, all wired together, sturdy as oak. What am I offered?
$2,000.
$60,000.
$79,000.
Boy, this is fun. $99,000.
Sold to Cedric Lee Hunt for $99,000.
Now, just a minute here. This thing has went far enough. Cedric, how much money have you got?
Mom?
I say, how much money have you got?
Oh, 35 cents.
That's just about what I figured.
Take your rocking chair, Cedric. It's yours now.
Yes, Mom. Now, what are we going to bid on next, Mr.
Well, now,
Grandpap?
here, wait a minute, Cedric. You can't bid no more. You got to have a heap more money than 35 cents to bid at an auction sale.
Well, I got more than that now.
Huh?
I got 35 cents in cash and a $99,000 rocking chair. That ought to be worth something, oughtn't it?
Oh, doggies, that's right, ain't it? Well, wait a minute, though. There's something wrong here. You come in here with just 35 cents
Abner.
and... Oh, there's Lomback.
Abner, I just got some more bad news.
From Dick Huddleston?
No, he was out.
Oh.
But I seen Squire again, and he just had another special deliver from Mr. Blair, and he's sending a feller down here to get the baby.
Get the baby?
Yes, sir. They found some woman that used to work for the baby's mama, and so they want her to identify him and some other stuff.
Well, will they bring him back?
I don't know. And here's something else. They're giving us just till 10 o'clock tomorrow night to raise that bail money. If we ain't got it by then, that's the end of us.
Oh, my goodness. Tomorrow night, huh? What time, 9?
10.
15.
100.
200.
600.
Sold to Cedric Lee Hunt for $600.
Well, good for me. What did I buy this time?
I don't know, Cedric, but according to the prices I've been getting today, anything you get for $600 is a bargain.
Well, Grandpap had a pretty busy time of it today, didn't he? And say, ladies, when friend husband has a busy time of it at work, and he comes home feeling headachy and upset, and perhaps just a little bit irritable, greet him at the door with a smile and then fix him a glass of sparkling Alka-Seltzer. It's really surprising how much better Alka-Seltzer can help him feel in a hurry. For Alka-Seltzer contains the necessary ingredients to ease his headache and to comfort his upset stomach both at the same time. Say, our guess is he'll be so pleased with the relief Alka-Seltzer offers that he'll want to keep a package of these modern effervescent tablets at work, too. Because these same common ailments that can so easily ruin his relaxation at home can also keep him from doing his best at work. Better check up on your supply of Alka-Seltzer now. And if it's running low, get another package from your druggist right away.
Not quite the sale they were expecting, was it? 83 years ago, August 25th, 1942. Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Join us tomorrow as we will get into some comedies. Willard Waterman is The Great Gildersleeve. George Burns and Gracie Allen from 1940. Milton Berle in A Salute to the Railroads. The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet as David sells Ozzie's suit. And we see more of what's going on as a wrench may be thrown into the works here with Lum and Abner. Thanks for being with us on this Monday, Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.